How's it going, guys? Welcome to Audio Addiction. We have Protect Your Heart with us tonight, and they can say their names and what they do in the band.
Don't all jump at once.
Yeah,
I
don't.
guess I'll
We do
start.
that every time.
I know. We
You gotta figure that out.
Everybody's like,
I purposefully don't say anything so I can wait for Kian to make the same damn joke that he did the last time.
that's okay.
Yeah.
Respect.
My name's Kian. I play rhythm guitar in Protect Your Heart.
I'm
Ant. Oh, damn.
Oh, really? All at once. I'm Matt.
We're
and
obviously trained for media.
Definitely a part of the band. You're like, all right, let's count it in.
My role in
One,
the band
two,
is just to piss off Ant.
All right, we're gonna have a click track. All right, guys, let's keep on tempo. Yeah.
Yeah, where's
Now-
the counting lady?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll take the count in.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm Matt and I do vocals.
I'm Ant. I play bass.
There we go. Well, guys, we arrived, so appreciated. Everybody got here. In that we had that moment of like pure joy where everybody was jumping in at the same point. But listen, we're here. Respect. But wanted to know. The first question, I always love asking this, is, what is the origin story of Protect Your Heart? How did you guys come together? Like a Marvel movie, I need to know, like, how the Avengers Squad was rocking,
It really
that
is like
us?
a Marvel movie.
It is a Marvel movie. You guys are a Marvel movie. Confirmed.
Ant, you
confirmed.
can be Ant-Man. That makes sense.
It's like one of the worst movies, though.
Whoa. Okay. I can't. We can't.
Now
We
this
don't
is
have
gonna
time
go
to
down
unpack
It's
that.
over. Shut it down.
All right. Goodbye. And then just close out. How dare you disrespect? No, okay.
Yeah, it's a very long origin story because it happened over the course of it's been basically 4.5 years till today, basically.
Wow.
But Jake, who is unfortunately not with us tonight, he
He's
is
dead.
alive. He's just not here.
I just put up I should just get, if you can send me a picture of his face and I'll just put like one of those like rip things
Yeah,
and
just-
just like rest
Just
in
a little
peace.
halo.
You're like, man, he's just not here with us anymore.
Yeah,
And then
it's not with us.
not with us.
Unfortunately.
So sorry.
So Jake, Ant, and I were all producing and DJing in the dance music scene, like in bass music,
Wow.
dubstep, drum and bass, trap, electro house, like all that fun stuff. And just met through that world, playing shows together. Anthony and I started collaborating on quite a lot of music in that world, and we pretty much, we had our own things going on, but we pretty much exclusively worked together for a number of years. And I ended up moving from San Francisco down here. And
very
a couple months later, Jake also moved down here because he was in the Bay Area as well. And he actually moved into Anthony's house. And so when Ant and I would be working on stuff on the weekends, obviously Jake would be there, and we all just, spend a bunch of time together and making dinner and hanging out, watching TV, playing video games when we were taking breaks, all that stuff. And we ended up going to the final Warp Tour in 2018, just as a group, group trip. I had never been to one before, so it was like a last kind of hurrah. And we all grew up on pop punk, on punk rock, metal, the whole scene world basically.
Mhm.
And we were kind of just joking on the way up there, like, oh, maybe we should like see if we can, make this kind of stuff again. Now that, we spent like 10 years producing dance music, like, can we produce this stuff? And then we saw the show, and the whole way back we're rocking out to all that kind of stuff that we grew up on. And the very next day, Jake sent us an iMessage with the first two riffs. And basically from that day forward, we all kind of abandoned what we were working on in dance music. I mean, we all kind of like finished up some loose ends and got, what was done, like released and out into the world. But we didn't really pursue any new songs or anything like that. We just started doing this. So every weekend, instead of, making womp womps and yo-yo's, we were playing with playing guitars. And we demoed for like 2 years, just every weekend, just writing new songs. And we had this pile of demos, like 50 plus deep in a
Wow.
Dropbox. And Jake was like, we need to find a singer. Like, we're wasting our time. We're not a band until we have a singer. And so we reached out to a couple people, and everyone, was like kind of meh about, doing the band thing, which is fair. And through the dance label that Ant and I worked with, we had a buddy called High Society, and he did a track with Matt on vocals that I actually did like the album art with, or the album art for the label for that track. And
I mastered it.
yeah, Ant mastered it. And I reached out to him and was like, hey, like, can you put me in touch with Matt? Because I was supposed to remix that song too. So I had the stems. So I already knew what the vocals would sound like or whatever. And I emailed Matt, and he never responded. And then I chased him down on Facebook, and I was like,
respect. I love it. Yeah.
yeah, I was like, hey man, I need to just frame that Facebook message because I reference it so often.
Should.
and
It
just
should
hold
be
it
in,
up
it
to
should have been in the
camera.
back of this video, honestly.
This is what I said to him.
You suck. Oh wait, sorry, that was
yeah.
a different one.
No, I was like, hey, I sent you an email. Let me know if you get it. And he immediately responded and was like, hey, I'm sorry, I've been out of the country. I was going to respond to it today. And I was like, here's my phone number. Just call me. It's going to be so much faster, so much easier. And then we ended up talking on the phone for like 2 hours.
Wow.
And like in that conversation, we were already kind of finishing each other's sentences. And by the time I hung up, I texted Ant and Jake, and I was like, this is our guy. We found him. And that weekend, Matt came over to the studio where Ant is sitting right now and met Jake and Ant. And then we kind of just, hung out, chopped it up a little bit. And then Matt went and like got some water, went to the bathroom or something. And Jake and Ant both looked at me and they're like, okay, like, yeah, this dude's sick. And then we just started like right after that tracking demo vocals, like scratch takes, on top of the demos that we had sent Matt. And then what was it, like a couple weeks after that, not even a month,
2
that
weeks.
COVID,
Like 2 weeks.
yeah, that COVID happened. So we
It was February 2019 was when we first met up, and then we did one like at the end of February and the beginning of March. And then we had a barbecue at your place for Allison's birthday, for Kian's wife's birthday, and then that week was COVID.
Yeah.
So oh man.
So the reason this server exists that we're talking on right now is because this is how we wrote the record.
Wow. Oh my God. That's so sick.
So Matt would write lyrics in like a Apple text edit doc and send that with his scratch vocal recordings to us. And then we'd sit on here and we'd all go on mute and listen to it together and go, okay, like this word maybe needs a change, or like this cadence feels weird, or what if we try this or whatever. And we'd massage it that way until everyone was locked on it. And then Matt would come down to Anthony's. We'd all get tested and we'd lock ourselves in that room from like Thursday to Sunday and record as much as we possibly could. And I think, how many vocal sessions did we do in total? I mean, it wasn't a ton. It was like
5 maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe when we added in some of the backing vocals, but I did most of the additional backing vocals and harmonies and screams and stuff back up here in my home studio. But
wow,
like it was, we were really productive, which actually COVID, when you look back, you see what kind of a blessing it was that it gave us this. I mean, selfishly in that way, like we chose to look at it as a blessing where we didn't have the ability to leave the house or go do other things. We could focus as much attention as we were willing to on this project. So it just removed so many distractions, and we were able to get a lot done quickly. Like I was given, like between 50 and 60 instrumentals, and we were able to craft 15 finished songs with like another 5 to 10 that were like really solid, like 70% done type songs by the time like the first year was up. So I think that's pretty good nuts. Pace for a 4-piece.
I would agree. And I think like, just listening to your guys' story, like I can find a lot of similarities because like during that time, I was getting a ton of requests to like have bands on and all that sort of stuff, just because we didn't know what was going to happen, and
Hmm.
obviously things have gotten, I would argue, significantly better since that point in time. But I think like whenever I talk to bands during that time, and I've talked to them after the fact as well, it's just like I think a lot of times too, I think it's just a good reset for bands. Like if you've been in a band for a long time, it's a good time for you to just kind of like take the time for yourself and like work on your music. And I would argue within the past like year or so, like bands that I love particularly have probably put out their best work just because they've had time to like really mold it out, really work on it. And I feel like you guys did very much in the same vein. Even though like obviously protect your heart. I don't know, like, the how you guys are doing now in terms of the following, but I mean, from what I can tell from social media, it looks like you guys are doing pretty well. And I think for me, it's cool to see that your guys' resilience as a band and like really trying to like make a negative situation into something positive where you guys are like, this is something we want to do, like we're never gonna, like, not never, but like arguably this is the best time for us to like work on music and write something and really dedicate ourselves to it. And I think that like from what I listened to and from what I've heard thus far, like it sounds so good. And honestly, it's like it almost feels like a band that's been doing it for a lot longer than you guys have been doing it for, certainly.
Yeah, I mean, the COVID thing was honestly like, sure, it made things challenging,
Hmm.
like just life in general, right? Like
Oh yeah.
life got weird, but it was a blessing for us because we got to do things like methodically
Yeah. Oh,
and
100%.
thoughtfully. And like our before we even met Matt, like when we were starting this and talking about what it was going to be and what we wanted to do with it and all that stuff, like the mantra was always to keep every part of this project in house, from writing to recording
Hmm.
to artwork to like everything, every single piece of the puzzle. Like we wanted complete control over,
Sure. Yeah.
because we had, at certain points in time in dance music and stuff, had relinquished some of that control. And when you do that, you kind of, I don't know, it just doesn't feel the same, right?
Sure.
And
Yeah.
so we it gave us time to like really be deliberate about everything that we did. And it also worked in our favor too, because like nobody knew that we as a band existed through COVID, right? Like
Yeah.
we were like hiding in the shadows a little bit, like just honing this, yeah, just honing
Just
this
like in a
thing
bunch of
that we
bushes,
had
you're
spent
like, hey,
a lot of time on
here's
already. And it
here's our
just
band.
it worked to our advantage from that perspective. It slowed the final delivery of the album down significantly
Sure. Yeah.
because we had to test and set time aside to get Matt into record vocals, and then we had to fix, the mixes and all that stuff.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
so it slowed that process down. But on the flip side, like it gave us all the time in the world to make sure that like whatever went out with our name attached to
Hmm.
it, we had signed off on to a degree. And going back to your comment about it looks like we've been doing this for a long time. Well, we have. Like all of us collectively have been at it for a long, long time.
Sure. Yeah.
Um, just not as this project.
Yeah. Sure.
So we basically learned all of the missteps not to take through our previous projects,
Sure. Yeah.
and then went, okay, so this sucked when we tried it before in this context. Let's not repeat that, and like let's make sure that this stuff is buttoned up when it goes out. So
Yeah.
that
Which makes, like, it's like a blessing and a curse, where like the good side of it is, well, like the tough side is the original release date that we wanted was like a year before it actually came out. Like when
Sure.
we
Yeah.
first had written the batch of songs, we're like, okay, let's try and work backwards from this release date, which was like what, a year and a few months ago from now, and the record just came out like 2 months ago, or like 6 weeks ago. So like extending it an extra year was the result of us knowing what we had failed on in the past, things we wanted to improve on,
Sure. Yeah.
and saying like, even though we've been antsy for them like 4 years by now, or by this point it was like 4 years, for me it was almost two, of just you know how it is. It's this hurry up and wait feeling. It's this,
Oh
I've
yeah.
worked my ass off for 2 years and now I just want to see the fruits of our labor. But like pushing it out an extra year was so smart for us because it allowed us to like really put a really strategy together over the course of 9 to 12 months of like consistent music videos that are high production quality, making sure that we rolled the singles out in the order that we felt like was appropriate, making sure we just didn't make hasty, emotional decisions. And I think, the end result was much more, it was very worth it.
Yeah, we had a lot of tough conversations too, like because I remember New Year's Eve 2019 going into 2020, like Kian, Jake, and I were like fixated on by the end of that year, the end of 2020. And so obviously we weren't able to do that because of COVID or anything. But
Sure. Yeah.
once we did have those dates, we really had to go in and analyze, like, are we going to hit this date, this new date that we've set?
Sure. Yeah.
Well, since, like Kian said before, nobody knows any of this exists except like our wives or girlfriends or whoever, right?
Yeah.
Like our close family friends.
Yeah.
And they're pestering us going like, hey, when's it coming out? When's it coming out? When's it coming out?
Yeah.
But, we really didn't want to take a risk that we would have spent as much time as we did and have anything not be exactly how we wanted it.
Sure. Yeah.
And so we were really lucky that we could do that. We could go in and we're like, oh, let's re-record this guitar. Let's rewrite this part. Let's rearrange this song. There's a lot of versions of the songs that are just like I said this earlier a couple weeks ago to somebody, like Frank 2, which is like Frankenstein of like 8 different versions of the song we arranged together. We're like, oh, okay, now it works. And especially once we met Maddie and like hearing him sing over this stuff, we're like, oh wait, we have to ditch this stuff. We have to add something. We have to move. We have to like make space for him because so much of it was written without a voice in there. But yeah, we got really lucky, and it's cool to see it kind of snowball into what it has, where something that was really fun. I mean, it's still really fun, but like something that was just like for fun, for just the fun of it, to something that we really are like so excited about every day, every chance we get to work on it or like come up with new ideas for videos. We're working on merch right now, so like coming up with that, we have a ton of designs. We just met with a print shop here in Los Angeles because we want to keep it all local and close to home. So yeah, man, it's like it's super cool that we all met the way that we did and had the history. It's like we all went to, we all got our doctorates in what we all individually do, and then to come together and like get to work is super fun.
It's cool to see, this is the part of the project where we're starting to see it come together as more than just the sum of its parts. It's actually like its own living, breathing organism in a sense. And so I really enjoy seeing that part take shape, where it's just not a collection of songs and music videos and an album and then some shows. It's like they all come together to tell a much bigger and more deep story. And I enjoy seeing that come to fruition. It really just is a showcase of how much effort these guys have put in and, how well we all work together.
Yeah, I think it's like an opportunity to know like the fruits of your labor, like as you mentioned earlier, Maddie, like having like you guys working as hard as you guys have been working on it for a while, and again taking those moments of what you've learned and in previous projects and just trying to like say like, okay, if we could like speed run this, how are you going to speed run this in the most efficient way we can as like a band? And I feel like you guys, like, for, and that was not a miscount on saying that I feel like you guys have been doing it for a while. Like, know just from listening to your story how long you guys have been doing it for, but for, like, not for just you guys messaging me and me checking your band out, like, I'm surprised that and I hope that people go check out, Protect Your Heart, because, like, there's such a way that you guys do things, and it's the only way I can think of it is that you guys are very surgical, like I think you guys know exactly what you're going for, what you want to do, and there's like you have like not to get real nerdy, but like you're like the Doctor Strange, where you're like, okay, we've seen it all, but there's only one way to do it. And I feel like you guys definitely like found a way to figure out exactly what you want to do, have a plan of attack, and actually do it. And I highly implore everybody to go check out Protect Your Heart, because it genuinely like was probably one of the biggest surprises of, at least for me, this year, that like to just have a band that I'm like, man, I'm like, how the fuck are these guys not bigger? That's what kind of surprised me the most. Was just like I was just thoroughly impressed for like just getting a DM message saying like, hey, I liked your video on this, and then being like, how the fuck did I not know about this band before? And like, which rock were you under? Like that rock over there, that rock? Were you under that rock?
See,
Like which rock?
that's one of the marquee differences between dance music and the rock space, right? Like
No pun intended, right?
band world needs, for whatever reason, like 10 years for people to catch on, and then like you have to be like a legacy band,
Unless you're me.
yeah. Whereas dance music, like you can put one song out, and if your one song strikes a chord, you don't even need anything else. You can literally tour off the back of one song. And like the shelf life of a dance music song it used to be 2 weeks. I don't know what it is now. It's probably like 2 days at this point because there's so much of it coming out. But with rock stuff, it's like this, we're all still collectively listening to songs we grew up on
Sure.
from the,
Yeah.
90s and early 2000s. And nobody has an issue with that. So it's just like, it's just, we're playing a different game here a little bit. But
100%. Yeah.
yeah, it's, like the funny thing is like we've had a few people, outside of the music. The music itself is obviously like very surgical, as you say, in like how it's produced, but we're producers,
Sure. Yeah.
so it's gonna be that way. But the same thing with like the visual side, like we are Ant and I work in visual media. So again, like it's stuff that we do for
On a
work,
daily.
but
Yeah.
then we get to do it cool for us. So like it like all the things you see on social media from us, like visually, they're pretty much just experiments that we want to try. Like
You're the guinea pig. Yeah.
yeah, it's like, all the like graphic design stuff around the band is literally just me trying shit out. A lot of the video stuff is me and Ant trying to figure out how to make things work or like how to whatever. And so like
Respect.
our whole team, our whole band will like, we'll come up with a concept for a music video, and then we'll all be like, yeah, okay, cool, like let's do that. But then that's only a piece of it, right? Then
Sure,
it's like,
yeah.
okay, where are we going to shoot this? How are we going to shoot it? What are we shooting on? Who's going to do the vis effects, or who's going to, do the edit, or like, are we editing it? Are we coloring it? Are we like a lot of the visualizers on our YouTube page are the result of us just messing around with plugins and like software.
They are sick.
Like,
Yeah.
it's just like trial and error, and if it works, it works, and if it doesn't, then we try something else. But it's literally like, everything. We're just having fun with everything, but we're also trying to make shit that looks cool and is fun, and
Sure, yeah.
that kind of thing.
And I got to respect you guys a lot for that, because as someone who also runs a lot of the everything here on the channel, like I got to give you guys a lot of kudos, because I think, as I mentioned earlier, being very surgical with the music and, coming from that producer background, like obviously you can tell there's a lot of attention to detail in regards to the music itself. But I think that even transcends into like other stuff within your band, like, figuring out like, okay, what are we going to do for merch? How are we going to encapsulate people in that aspect? Like the visual aspect, it's like, people always say you like eat with your eyes. So it's like, okay, like how are you guys going to like draw me in, and I think that you guys do a great job of, again, hitting all of those points in a very methodical way that, again, I want to keep shilling for this band, but you guys should go check them out. Just saying, just saying, guys. But I feel like you guys have a very high attention to detail, and I wanted to point that out as someone
Yeah,
who
we're
also
all psychopaths.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm
Appreciate
just
you
basically
noticing.
I'm just saying that because I am also a psychopath, so I feel
Yeah.
like I resonate with your psychoticness. So
Yeah, well, I mean, we're all very visual people, obviously, musicians as well, but we're all very visual people. So it's like, if the visuals suck, like we don't. That's not what we're trying to do. So the OCD about everything is real
Oh
and
yeah.
doesn't
Oh yeah.
only extend to the
I
music. We've probably spent more time on videos than we have on the music if I'm being honest.
I feel that 1,000,000%. I'm kind of in the same boat whenever I'm like, man, I don't know if I should release this video. And I'm like, well, that 1 millisecond where I say something real, like not great, where I say like 7,000 times. How am I going to edit all of those out? Okay, so let me just sit here at my computer and edit out all the ums that I've been saying for like the past hour. So I can resonate with your dedication to doing this, and I hope that only implores more people to go check out Protect Your Heart. Guys, listen, you're on the ground level. Stonks are low right now, but listen, you can be coming away with a big winner here. So
Pop
just
punk
saying.
in this economy.
Yeah, pop punk in this economy, we're down low here, but listen, we're looking at the market projections for quarter 1. It's, as you can see here on the as we're
Yeah,
visualizing here,
we
a
need
little
a little
graph.
GameStop action.
So the stocks are here.
Are you
we
gonna
got
pull
some
like a Jim
ideas, man.
Cramer on us?
Yeah.
We got ideas too. Like I'm really excited for some of the video ideas that we've been kicking around. We had one that we held, one idea. We didn't film it, but we know what we want to do that I can't
Ah.
wait to do in 2023.
Yeah, there's one concept that's gonna I don't think anyone's done it yet. So
No.
I
Yeah,
haven't.
so
If they have, I haven't seen it. So
They're gonna.
But yeah, I mean, like I think at the end of the day, like we just get so hyped on like, okay, what's the craziest, coolest idea we can come up with? Okay, well now let's figure out how to do it. And let's
how to pay for it.
yeah, that's the other thing. Let's figure out how to do it, but where it's affordable.
I feel
Which
that.
I think kind of adds to a lot of the charm. Like that, I think that's why everything feels cohesive, is because we are doing it all ourselves. Not only because it helps us afford it, but we really want to. So I don't know. It gives it our own like little flavor because we go about things a specific way.
Yeah,
It's
like,
a challenge.
I don't know if you've seen the Fireproof music video, but I've seen like some people play it on Twitch and stuff, and the comments are almost always like, major label budget, industry plant, that's $100,000 video. And honestly,
those are kudos, right?
We spent less money on that video than we did on any of the other ones. So,
joke's on you.
Yeah, you got to just know what you're doing a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Shout out Peter.
Yeah.
Yep.
Shout out to Peter. But yeah, I feel like you guys have a plan of attack, and I just, I had to give it the kudos as someone who is very psychotic. I appreciate the dedication to what you guys do, and obviously a major reason why I wanted to have you guys on, because I know that you guys have the potential to be massive next year. And guys, I'm not, they paid me they paid me a lot of money to say that. They had this one EDM banger, and they just gave me the money for that. So
yeah, my royalties checks aren't paying you shit, my friend.
But mine aren't buying Chipotle at this moment.
Yeah.
Oh, sick. Okay. Well,
BMI sends me about $3 a quarter. It's fantastic.
Oh yeah, let's go. All right. See, that's what I told you. The stocks are through the roof, guys. No, but I feel like your guys' dedication to what you do, from whatever aspect of the band it is, visually, musically, how you guys are going about it as potentially a business. I think you guys just are going about it in such a correct way, and as someone who A, has a business degree, and B, also runs this as seeing a bunch of bands and doing this for a long time, it's really impressive to me. So I wanted to give you guys the kudos,
Thank you, man.
the salute. But I loved the answer on that one, but we're gonna move it on to the next question, which is who you guys influenced by, who kind of got you started out in music, and who influences your musical style more currently now.
Man, these are probably really long answers from all of us, because I think we all have such diverse tastes.
We're having a 4-hour long conversation. It's great. I'm ready.
I'm ready.
Yeah, here, I'll give you the abridged version. For me, was I've since I was little, just music in general was fascinating to me. But when I was in like 4th grade, my cousin moved in with me, and she was 18 at the time, and she showed me the Beastie Boys, Nine Inch Nails, The Doors, Queen, literally everything that like you would want to know.
Oh,
Rage
yeah.
Against the Machine took me to see the Beastie Boys in A Tribe Called Quest. When I was
Every
13.
T-shirt in Amoeba Music.
Yeah, pretty much. And so like that definitely put me on the path of it all. Shout out Jennifer. Yeah, she really showed me things. Warren G, Snoop Dogg, like you name it. Like, I remember she was making me mixtapes, back then, and I was like, I didn't even know what a lot of it was. I was just listening to it over and over and over, and I was just fascinated by it. But I think like it's hard to pick like one band or one thing that was like a real influence, but I think for me, like just great songwriting, great production stuff, at least from back then, like all the stuff that stood out and that I still listen to today is like, My Chem, the Sum 41 stuff was all recorded really well. All the Green Day stuff's always been just done really, really well. All the Blink stuff's been done really well, at least in the pop punk world.
Sure, yeah.
But also stuff in like drum and bass, like anything that Rob Swire touches, like Pendulum or Break or DLR, like those guys. There's really, it's everything. I mean, and then nowadays, God, Bring Me the Horizon's just crushing it on everything that they do, and they have for forever, pretty much. Like you can listen to everything, and it's cool to go through and listen to their progression. What else? Keenan says I listened to Rancid. Rancid was one.
Oh, Goldfinger.
Rancid and Goldfinger. Yeah, I listened. I said to my wife the other day because I put
He
on.
likes ska, as you can tell by his hat.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Love Real Big Fish. Love the Specials. But yeah, I think all stuff like that. I don't know. It's just great. Yeah, great songwriting. I do love pop music, but I love heavy stuff. Like I remember as a kid listening to Metallica and being so fascinated with it because I just felt like if somebody heard me listening to it, I felt like they would be like, "Oh, he's cool." Like you just felt cool listening to it. There was something about it.
Fair enough.
I don't know. It just that was always really inspiring and just made me want to like figure out a way to be involved in music. And then being in bands, I wound up in studios when I was like 17 in New York City, helping out like friends record on tape at NYU, and then 2 years later, I wound up working at Chung King which is a studio there, doing a lot of pop records and hip hop until I moved to LA in 2010.
Yeah, similar. Like when I was a kid, my sister used to make me mixtapes, and she introduced me to like Pantera, a lot of grunge stuff. There's like a lot of like hair metal stuff. So like I got really used to hearing big vocal over aggressive music, and so I just always gravitated towards heavy. But I also gravitated in the same way towards just diva songwriters and singers. Like I love Whitney Houston, and like singers of that caliber inspire me a ton because I just love the belting, the like powerful vocal. And so I always tried to emulate those kind of singers when I started writing music. But my parents both listened to a ton of like classic rock. So like Cat Stevens, Bob Dylan, Fleetwood Mac, the Eagles, Doobie Brothers, Pink Floyd being like one of my favorite artists of all time. Then when I hit and then the first 3 records I bought were Ride the Lightning from Metallica, Nirvana Nevermind, and Pearl Jam 10. Those are like the first 3 records I personally purchased.
Yes.
And at the same time was being exposed to like Beastie Boys, NWA, a lot of just like, so across the board. So I've always kind of maintained this love and appreciation for every genre. Like I currently listen to quite a bit of like pop country because the vocal runs are like unreal.
You're fired.
See you later.
He just leaves the chat now.
Recording on those records, though, you can't knock them. They're produced and recorded amazing.
Amazing songwriting. Like the singers are top-notch quality. Same with pop music, top-notch quality. Like the lyric composition is really well done. So like I've always gravitated towards just loving every genre. Then when I reached like 17 or so, I had never sung a note in my life other than just kind of dorking around in the car. But this band called Millencolin, they're a punk band from Sweden.
Nice. Yep.
Love them forever. And I used to skate to them all the time. I was like, you know what? I was listening to a few of their songs and I started singing. I'm like, I can sing these notes. I wonder if I can sing other songs. So I started just like figuring out how to sing from scratch. And that was kind of the band that started the whole process for me.
I have the polar opposite experience from that, in terms of like in terms of how I like landed in punk rock and stuff. But I guess my little story starts with in sixth grade, where I grew up in southern Indiana, right? Small town, literally like 1,000 people. And part of elementary school, sixth grade, they make you choose between choir and band. And I was always an athlete growing up, and so I was like, "What's the coolest instrument in the school band?" You know, like you weren't gonna catch me playing the flute. You know what I mean? Um, so like snare drum was the only like cool thing in my opinion. So when I made that choice, my mom went out and bought me the cheapest possible drum kit at the local music store and signed me up for drum lessons with a guy that lived in our neighborhood. And so he was teaching me how to, like, you know, it started with the fundamentals, and then he was teaching me how to listen to stuff and be able to just listen, pick out the parts and play it.
Sure. Yeah.
And so like the early songs I was learning was like Lit, My Own Worst Enemy, and like stuff like that, you know, like relatively easy stuff, but it was cool at the time. Papa Roach was another one.
All right.
Back in those days, I was super into like Korn and Limp Bizkit, as most people were, I think. But then when I went into seventh grade, some of the kids in my school knew that I was playing like the kit and not just snare drum, and they were like playing guitar and stuff, and like, hey, do you want to jam? And I was like, okay, cool. And they were super into like No Effects, Screeching Weasel, Fugazi, like all the skate punk kind of stuff. And that ultimately, like, I was totally uninterested in being good or playing drums at all. Like, it felt like it was something I had to do for school, so I didn't want to do it. But then when I started listening to the punk bands and Blink, and I heard Travis play, I was like, this is what I do now, you know, like, so if I wasn't at school or wasn't at, you know, baseball practice or whatever it was, I was in my basement trying to learn the entire Enema of the State album, you know?
As you do.
So I guess my polar opposite to Matt is where I grew up, you basically only had country, top 40 radio, and like oldies rock. That was the only stuff available to you on the radio. And so my nature was like, what's the furthest thing from all this stuff? And that's where like all the punk stuff came in. And so I literally cannot stand country. Like I'd rather put a hot poker in my ears. That's the only genre I won't touch.
Hearing my tour playlist.
No, boy.
You're sharing a bus with Jake. We already
Jake for your own thing. Y'all can yeehaw it up all you want.
I will. I definitely will.
Rootin' tootin'.
So yeah, I mean, for me, Blink has always been the big one. Always my favorite band. Yeah, by a long shot. But I mean, with all the like pop punk and, you know, easy core and all the stuff that we're exposed to by virtue of what this band is, I actually find myself listening to more like drum and bass as like a palate cleanser these days. Like when we played last Friday, the whole drive home, I just was playing a drum and bass playlist on Spotify and texting Ant the best ones.
The Cohen sound on the way home.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, we all listen to pretty much everything. I would say like, as far as our band is concerned and influences there, it's such like a mixed bag of like, hey, I like this thing that is in this song. Yeah. I like this thing that's in this song. This is a cool idea. It's never like, hey, let's be Blink-182 Part 2, you know, like, or let's be A Day to Remember Part 2. We get compared to them a lot, and obviously we're big fans of theirs, but I don't think we've ever referenced in A Day to Remember song like as we're writing. It's just
sure. Yeah,
it just kind of naturally comes out that way.
We actually don't ever really reference anything while we're writing. And one of the reasons, I think the way that we all wrote music as producers, dance music or now was we always wanted to write what we wanted to hear. It was never a matter of trying to emulate something else. We were always like,
Sure,
well, we
yeah.
like all this stuff. Like, let's hear it together. Like when we even first started, like it was really important that the records were mixed and had low end, like mixed more like a dance record
Sure, yeah.
than they would be just a rock record.
Lots of low end and lots of drum transient, which is, you know, straight up drum and bass dubstep mixing style. Is like everything else comes second to the kick, snare, and the sub bass. And that's kind of how we approach our mixes and masters on this record. But then also like
Pop
if you
music, so
feel
vocal too.
if you yeah, but you know, instrumentally. But if you peel the guitars and the bass, like the string instruments out of our mixes, there's so much other stuff in there that you don't notice. That's all like EDM stuff. Like everything
Sure,
has
yeah.
synths in it. Everything has like little production tricks in it. Just because like that just naturally happens because that's how we know how to produce. So it all comes into these songs.
Yeah, I think there's like when I was listening to some of your stuff online and going onto your YouTube channel and checking out like, you know, a good majority of your songs, there was something about it that like there was this like you said, coming from the EDM background and not really realizing that until obviously having you guys talking about it, like that wouldn't have been something that I realized upon first listen. I would have just been like, okay, like the mix on this is like the mix and master on this is insane. It's got like a lot of depth to it, and like, you know, I was listening to it in my car that has like, you know, pretty good speakers, and I was like, man, this is actually really sick. How am I gonna like, you know, like how I gotta ask him about like the songwriting, and you guys obviously got into that, so I, you know, defeats the purpose of asking. But I feel like you guys, you know, have that attention to detail as I mentioned before, and the band that kind of stuck out to me is like a band that's doing really well right now is like Bad Omens. I feel like you guys kind of have that like that sense of like there is some heaviness there, but you guys aren't like, you know, I didn't inherently think like, oh my god, like wouldn't a day to remember copycat, you know? I was just like, okay, there's some moments there where I was like, okay, like if they are influenced by a day to remember, like I could certainly see that, but it wasn't like inherently like, okay, this is a day to remember like rip off or like something that I think you guys have a very eclectic sound that kind of again has the influences of being from the electronic background and hearing kind of some of the more like subtleties of the song, and that's kind of why I like going back and like listening to it after I've had interviews with bands, because initially when I listen to bands, I'm like, okay, I'm just trying to like get an idea of like what the band sounds like. And then when I actually have them on and have them do more like in-depth stuff, it's like, okay, now I get more of an appreciation for it. That might just be again that sort of nerd aspect of why I love music, but I think I really kind of try to dissect it a little bit more because I think it makes the songwriting and like the thought process a little bit more intriguing, because you're like, oh man, they really, you can hear a lot of the stuff that that might go unnoticed by other people, and I hope that
You'll
people.
you'll probably catch a lot. You'll probably catch
Oh
a
yeah,
lot more things
now.
now. It's like
Oh yeah.
it's like when you go back and watch a movie for a second time.
Oh
You're
yeah.
like,
Oh
I
yeah.
didn't see that the first time. You know, and now with the context, I think you'll notice it a lot more.
Yeah, and I
One
hope
thing you
that.
can do too is if you scroll through like our Instagram and look at any of the teasers leading up to
Mhm.
song releases or music videos, there's a decent amount of them that are all only the background hidden ear candy elements
Hmm.
repurposed. So we'll just load up the Pro Tools session and then just remake something specifically for when we're sitting and cutting together the teasers, but it's only stuff that existed on the songs. So you'd be like, this is
That's
interesting. It's
wild.
like, why is this synth thing like, well, it's actually in the song. It's just either rearranged slightly or, you know, kind of like tweaked a little bit.
Or the
Sure. Yeah.
guitars aren't there, and you can hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it makes it more interesting, and that's also something I would have probably never known. So it will be cool to listen to some of the teasers and listen to some of the songs and have like more an appreciation. And I hope that people, when they, you know, go check out Protect Your Heart, like I honestly hope that they have more of an appreciation for the music now, watching this and then going back and listening to the music and be like, oh, now I see what they're going for. That's all. It's like, it's like, I was gonna. It's like having like a cheat code, Like you're like, man, God, like now I understand. I can go anywhere. This is what it feels like to be free. I'm very stoked to actually go check it back out and really invest more. And I think I'm gonna get a better appreciation
Stonks.
out of it. So stonks, baby, invest.
Yeah.
We're gonna slowly just subliminally just tell people and be like, check out Protect Your Heart, but but anyway,
Subtle.
it's very subtle, but the next question I have for you guys kind of leads in perfectly to the next topic I have, which is for people who maybe aren't familiar with Protect Your Heart and are like, man, these guys are great, now I'm gonna go check the music out. What song would you recommend to a new listener to check out to give them an idea of what you guys are going for?
I have a top 13, I think.
Top 13. How convenient. How convenient. Right? Yeah.
Dang,
you want to list them all off from 1 to 13?
I feel like everybody has a different favorite. Everybody I talk to has a different favorite for a lot of reasons. I would probably say Never Gonna Leave You is one of my personal favorites.
Okay.
Especially, there's like so much crazy stuff that we went through with making that video and getting the song done, and just everything around it was just insane. It was like the biggest thing I think that we had done. It might be the production for that video. We worked on that while we were shooting Best of Me, I think, right?
I don't know, man. It's like the Twilight Zone.
We were working on that for a long time. Like Kian and I put together all the visuals and stuff for it. So there's it's very, I don't know. It's like a very full package. Like when the song with the video and all the everything. There's a lot to unpack there, and it's kind of got a lot of everything. It's got like some heavy bits. It's got really great melodies. Like I love the vocal on it. Connor, who edited that video, he always tells me how much he loves singing it. He still sings it. He still
Respect.
tells me he's singing it. Yeah. But yeah, I would say maybe that one.
I mean, if I were gonna tell somebody give them one song that encapsulates what Protect Your Heart sounds like, that would be the one for me too, because it has that touch of, heaviness, because it's, down-tuned guitars and there's a breakdown and all that stuff. But it also has the big soaring chorus, and it has a lot of the EDM production elements in there too. And it's the one song that when we don't play it, which has been the last two shows, and the next show probably not either, people get super butthurt about it. So I think that, and it's the one that people reference to me the most. Like I have people come up to me and they're like, dude, that song was on my Spotify Wrapped. I've listened to it so much in the last 3 weeks. I'm like, okay.
And you're like, guess what? We're still not playing it.
I think that one is probably the best. I
want to play it all the time.
Yeah, it's a tough decision when you get like 25 or 30 minutes in a set. You're like, okay, if we choose one of our longer songs, which is Never Gonna Leave You, where we have to play less songs in the set. So we're like, we can take that out of the set, add 2 songs in its place, and play more songs for everyone to get more money out of their experience, or more value for the
money out of those free shows.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Well, one wasn't, but yeah, the other was. I still want those who got a free ticket to get the most out of
get their money's worth.
Get their
make their bar tab
money
worthwhile.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys hit it on the head. I think that song is a good example of without any of the aggressive vocals. That pretty much encapsulates what the majority of the record touches on. But I would probably add Closer to the Grave to the conversation, and then one other being heavier, probably either Fireproof or Too Young to Die Alone, because they do have a little more aggression in it. So any one of those 4 are among the 4. They're the first choices that I share to somebody new. Or Last to Love You, I can see that
Or you
too.
lock him in a room and put the record on, and you go, you got to listen to the whole thing.
It's only 45 minutes, man. It's not that hard.
It's not.
Guys, I'll make sure to leave their top 13 in the comments,
Yeah.
and also in the description. Listen, there's 13 top songs on this album.
Yes.
So honestly,
That's like the hardest
anyone.
for any band member to answer is like, tell us your favorites, because there's, I mean, if
They're all your
I didn't
babies.
love one of them, I would have never put on the record.
Yeah, that's a great point.
That's
Which,
true, especially from
yeah.
your guys' perspective. Certainly, I feel like, they're all like, oh my god, I love you so much.
Well,
I
and
feel
going
like,
back to what Ant said earlier about, not intentionally not referencing other bands while you're creating, I have made that mistake in the past, and it always led me to the same place of feeling unsatisfied with the final product because it didn't perfectly match the song I was trying to
Sure,
like get inspiration from. So like I'm like, well, that song's a 10 out of 10 to me. That's why I'm drawing inspiration from it. And this song, if it doesn't become exactly that, then I'm going to feel like it's a failure. So like in that same way, this record, we didn't reference a single other artist while making it. We just wrote what we felt was right in the moment. And I think as a result, we're really, really extra proud of the material because it's just entirely an extension of whatever we felt that day, rather than being, like overshadowed by what we wished it could have been,
Yeah, and like I this is in our like EPK and stuff like that, but like the intention was never to make a record, was never to be a band. Like that was not why we started doing it. The be a band thing came way later when we had all this stuff, 50 songs, and we were spending all of our time doing it, where it's like, hey, maybe
we should do
we
this.
should try, So, from that perspective, like we weren't referencing things to be like, oh, we're going to be the next this, that, or the other thing, because we literally didn't plan to be doing this. It's just a result of doing it.
I actually intentionally didn't want to be in a band ever again. Like I had already been through the process, and like it's grueling to say the least. It's very tiring, and it requires more sacrifice than people recognize. And I wasn't ready to do that again. But after getting to know the guys, I was ready to go into the deep end all over again and just throw caution away. But I think going into it with that mentality allowed us to not have any real expectation other than create cool shit, do it with great people, and make sure it's fun. And if those three things are satisfied, then we're happy. So I think with that, like that expectation's been exceeded. So I mean, I couldn't be happier with the record. So
Even with the mixes, we couldn't really reference stuff. Like early on, I remember Keenan and I would be sitting here and be like, I can't, what could we reference that, like, just for at least like an idea? And we're like, well, I don't know. Okay, let's just make it sound however we want, and let's make sure it's great. Like I worked for a producer for a few years. That's what he would just say all the time. He'd be like, yeah, just make it great. Like, okay, thanks. But at the end of the day, like it's
mighty
actually
helpful feedback.
Mad helpful.
But it works. Like, when you do it long enough, I feel like you kind of get an idea of, you're like, is this great or is it not?
Yeah,
like you can tell.
Yeah, you know how much.
Sorry, you go. I was just gonna say, if you really try to stick too closely to what you're referencing, then you don't ever allow just like yourself to blossom. And I've been stuck in that mindset for so many years where I just wanted to either appease somebody else, impress somebody else, or try to be the next, create the next great, like, disrespect your surroundings type situation. But like, it never led me to happiness. It always made me feel like I was inferior to, or I was serving something other than just letting my own, like, inner artist do its own thing and whatever that may be. And I think this might be like one of the first periods of time that nothing else mattered other than just feeling whatever felt right to me.
Yeah, I think there's an aspect of it being liberating, right? Like I think the ability to just have no borders, right? Like you're just allowed to do whatever you want to do, however you want to make it, and just I think that's kind of the result of what makes, at least what attracts me to certain bands, is just allowing them to just do what they want to do, right? I think when I go and I watch interviews with other bands, And I'm like, they're like, yeah, we just went into the studio. We really just didn't have a plan. We just kind of like knew we wanted to make an album, and we just kind of wanted to just like, if we felt like we had been listening to a lot of pop stuff, like how can we, how can we incorporate that in our music or whatever have you? Or maybe like you have a stretch where you're listening to heavier music. How can I add like, this piece into the puzzle or whatever? And I think there's a level of honesty to be had because, I think you're able to create without those borders in mind. You're just able to just sit down, whether it be like at your desk or like, out, and just kind of come up with an idea and be like, all right,
Mhm.
we started from this point. How can we mold it? How can we shape it in a way that is, a, like I'm gonna get a lot of enjoyment out of it, and then how can we tailor it more to be like, okay, we're at a good starting point. How can I like shape this? How can I mold it in a way that um make it be like a great song?
And if you go into that mindset, like when somebody like in Ant's situation just says, make it great, you stop thinking about, okay, what does he want me to do? What can I make it great in his eyes?
Sure.
It's
Yeah.
instead like, I already know what the answer is. The answer is make it great. If it feels great to me, then it's great.
If you don't set expectations, you can't be disappointed. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Lower them.
Amen.
yeah, just lower your standards, and everything's fine.
What's that dating show that was on like SNL back in the day, like Lowered Expectations?
Lowered. That's
No,
yeah.
I say that shit all the time too, though. Like when we get in the weeds on certain things, it's just like, this is not the last song we're ever gonna work on. This is not the last video we're ever gonna make. This is
Yeah.
not the last whatever, right? So like you get to there's the law of diminishing returns, right? And you
Yeah.
reach that place a lot doing what we do. So it's like, okay, is it worth making this thing absolutely perfect and taking more time to do it?
Never perfect.
Or, right, because nothing's ever done.
Yeah.
Or do you just call it quits and move on to the next thing and understand that the next time you do, and get it out, and the next time you do it, you know what not to do because you did it the last time, and
Yeah.
you just keep getting better and evolving and making things work, because at the end of the day, like nobody's listening to our record or anyone else's record for that matter on like $20,000 studio monitors with a perfect treated room and all. Like they're listening to it on Bluetooth Apple earbuds that sound like trash. You know what I mean? So like it's the law of diminishing returns. Like we just have to keep moving.
Well, I appreciate that we've taken that approach. Like we've never spent time splitting hairs on any decision. It's like in 5 minutes or less, we make the decision, we keep going, and that allows us to carry the workload that we've carried. Otherwise, we would never be able to carry this workload.
Yeah, and I think it would allow you to be stressed out on something that you like at an unattainable or quit to an
Do
unattainable
we look
level.
like we're not stressed out?
I mean, I feel like that's everyone in that's everybody in the alternative scene. So, welcome to the club.
Who's a cucumber?
Yeah. No, but yeah, I think that you guys, as I mentioned before, you have such an attention to detail, and whether or not, like, obviously you guys aren't splitting hairs on the songs, but I feel like there is, that level of dedication to what you guys do. And, I know I've been highlighting it a lot, but it truly is something that you can tell within the music that is just like, okay, they really thought about how these songs are going to be working together, and that's why they have a top 13. So I mean, come on, that's
to be fair, we had a top 15 and cut two that we felt like weren't good enough for the other 13. So
damn.
Like we make all the jokes and stuff, and like we try and have fun and like keep things moving, but there is a degree of like we wouldn't spend that much time focusing on the details if we didn't like deeply care about it.
Sure,
So
yeah.
it's like a fine balancing act, right? It's like, when is it good enough and when is it not good enough, and figuring out like where in that
Yeah.
spectrum we're happy and feel like is a good representation of what we're trying to do, and ultimately who we are. Like
Hitting the threshold.
it's all a pure reflection of like who we are, how we think, how we do things, and it's not trying to be anything else. Like I think that's the important piece of the puzzle for us.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I'll have you know, Keenan, I'm listening to "Protect Your Heart" on some nice Bose speakers in my car. So just
See,
saying,
see.
Worked
just
on it
telling you.
on. Hey,
Yeah, let's
I
go.
I reference on this while working a lot.
I used to do all my dance music mixes in Apple earbuds for the reason that that's how people listen.
I know.
Like
I was just bullying you, Keenan.
we
All right.
have we have we have these big expensive headphones, and I was working in earbuds as much as these because it's like if it sounds good there, it'll sound good here, you know.
Very fair. Very fair. I just wanted to make it funny, and Keenan just like kept it real. So
That's what he does. I try to make a
Yeah.
joke, and usually
and
it's
he
just
was
no,
like,
man.
so
Well,
actually,
usually jokes are funny, you know.
Well, I take pride in my
Damn.
jokes.
All
Not being-
right. Well, you know what? Listen, I'm gonna. No, I'm kidding.
That was directed at Matt. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Thank you, Matt. I'm
You
sorry.
should have heard him at my Thanksgiving dinner table. It was a sight to behold.
I wish I could have been a fly on the wall. That would have been great.
Well, maybe it was a wild ride.
Oh boy. All right, guys. Well, the next question I have for you, keeping it more current, what are you listening to recently? What's on the Spotify? What have you been listening to?
I just discovered a band. I know that you guys know of Dayseeker, right?
Oh,
Um,
I love Dayseeker.
I love Dayseeker, but I just discovered the singer's side project called Hurtwave,
Oh,
and it's
also fantastic.
incredible. I mean, I happen to like the Midnight is one of my favorite bands. So anything in the like 80s inspired kind of synthwave,
yeah.
retrowave type thing, I'm all over that genre. So like the Midnight is always in my top 2 or 3 played, but Hurtwave has been like the most recently
So good.
discovered
So
artist
good.
that I'm loving.
Let's see what has been on rotation for me. I know right now in my car, if I got into it, All Killer No Fillers on because I've just felt like listening to that.
Let's go.
The Pierce the Veil album, Collide with the Sky. I've been nonstop listening to it lately. It's just so good. It's really, really good. What else was I just listening to?
We should throw up our Spotify top 5 for
A lot of
2020.
rants.
I'll pull mine up then, even though mine I think is very
I don't think
biased.
I saved mine.
I'm always listening to Bring Me the Horizon.
Yeah.
I'll literally just run through their catalog
Oh, it's great though.
all the time.
I have one album that I've been listening to since it came out, and I just can't stop. And it's Between You and Me, Armageddon.
Oh,
It's a great
yeah.
record.
It's probably the best album that's come out in like 5 years, in my opinion. What else? Oh, I started re-listening to the Seosin album with the Beatle on it a lot. I don't know why.
Yes, the self-titled baby.
Just one day I was just like, I'm gonna listen to this today, and
good.
then I just kept listening to it. But those are the only two like scene things I've been listening to. I've been listening to a Spotify playlist called Stepping Out, which is a drum and bass playlist.
Interesting.
Pretty regularly, and then there's another drum and bass playlist on there that I listen to. I think it's called like
Curated one.
Massive Drum and Bass, or something like that. No, I keep adding all my favorites to the curated playlist, but I always just end up back in the same place. But yeah, there's a song called Right Now by Kumarion that's really good. There's a song called Industrial Something by Coven that's really good. Big City Life by Lude, I believe is the artist, is really good. Like there's just all this cool drum and bass stuff that again is like a palate cleanser to me. When we're dealing with so many distorted guitars, it's nice to step away for a minute.
That's
I was on
me.
a Dillinger kick on Monday.
Ooh, classic. That's a great band too. I love that. Yeah.
Well, not Dillinger Escape Plan, Dillinger, who's an
damn.
old school
thought you were
drum
talking
and
about
bass
Dillinger.
producer. Dillinger Escape Plan is great though, and now that's going to be tomorrow.
There you go. Now you got it. Yeah, now you have to.
Yeah.
No, I like that you guys kind of, listen to non like metal / like alternative music in your free time, because I listen to, which I shouldn't surprise anybody, but when I'm sitting here editing, I listen to a lot of lo-fi, and I just think the workflow is just incredible. So I
I mean,
always gotta pitch it.
if you saw Jake's
artist,
Spotify
let me
stuff,
tell you.
you'd be even more weirded out because it's like pop stuff, like straight up radio pop stuff, like Ariana Grande, and then like really obscure, like 100 gecs but weirder, and then some like hip hop, and then some like dark mid-tempo electro house or tech house or things like that, and then there'll be like Cannibal Corpse and like some weird
Hell
metal
yeah.
stuff. So
Let's go.
it's really all over the place.
And
If
then
you like lo-fi, Bill's Beats, all one word.
Bill's Beats. All
The
right.
album is Perspective. I've been enjoying that.
Ooh, all right.
It's like it's a short EP, but and then Spotify just kind of like went and did its own thing, and then I just started adding songs. But yeah, it was cool. I feel like I just randomly was served something on like Instagram, like just him jamming out on piano,
nice.
playing through one of the songs. I was like, this is sick, and I just went to find it. But yeah, Bill's Beats.
Bill's Beats, shout out. I'll
Yeah.
have to check it out. And then in regards to my Spotify Wrapped, my top 5 bands, and I don't typically listen to Spotify, but Bill Murray was number 1. That should not shock anyone because I love that band. Dayseeker was 2. 4 Years Strong was 3.
Legends.
Like Pacific was 4. And the last one to round it out was Thornhill. They're sick.
Nice.
Yeah.
I saw Thornhill with Dayseeker.
Yes,
and
same.
Jake. Actually,
That
for
was
our
that
show, Jake had to play in a walking boot because he sprained his ankle during the Dayseeker set. So yeah,
That was the whole thing.
I think he retired from mosh pits for now.
I think so. Yeah.
No,
that
he was
sounds like
he was in the pit at the state champs between you and me show.
Oh yeah, we dragged his ass in. It was great.
wow. You
Yeah,
guys
there's
are-
a photo. There's a photo on State Champs Instagram of Matt crowd surfing at House of Blues Anaheim.
Hey, respect. Go check it out. Also, go check out Protect Your Heart. Just
Just one more time. Get
one
in
more
there.
time. Check it out. Links below. But the next question I have for you guys is a fun one. If you guys could pick a song to cover, what would it be?
We already have one in the works, but we're like have held off on finishing it. We don't want to release it. We just want to do it for fun because we love the song so much. But it's Everybody Wants to Rule the World. Tears for Fears.
Oh, nice. Oh, man.
That's been like my jam since I was a kid.
Me too.
Because,
Classic.
it came out before I was even born. And Jake and I like noodled on it one night just for the hell of it. I don't even know why. It just kind of happened, and then it's just sat in Dropbox untouched since then. I think it got started in like 2018.
Wow.
And hasn't been. And I keep trying to push for it, and Jake's pretty adamant. He's like, we're not releasing covers. Like if you release a cover, you just become a cover band. So it'll probably never see the light of day. But
Hey, one night when I was
Maybe play it live. Maybe we play it live.
one night when I was tracking demo vocals, I it was like 2 bottles of wine in and having my own 1-person party, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna record that song. And then I recorded it, and I was like, I'm gonna send it to the guys. Hold on, let me wake up and be sober first. And then I deleted it.
that good, huh?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Damn, it was so good it had to end up in the trash.
Yeah.
It's where it needed to be.
Well, listen, I'm glad Jake wasn't on this because I'm pretty sure I would have fought it out with him for a solid like 45
We
minutes.
can give you his number.
All right, cool.
Yep.
I'll
Yeah.
give him a
He
call.
loves to debate, so
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
I
Scroll across the video.
yeah.
Call Jake now.
Call Jake. Here's the phone number.
Tears for Fears cover.
Yeah,
Call
cheers for
Jake now.
call this number to get this cover released.
That would be good.
That'd be great. I would love that. No, I feel like my stance on cover songs, I do like them. I do sometimes think they are a little bit oversaturated by a certain band that I'm not going to mention, just for sheer if you know, and that's it. But it
First album they did was good. They should have stopped there.
Yeah, you're correct. You're correct. No, I feel like with cover songs, like especially if I don't know the band and I like see them live and there's a song that I know that they're like, okay, we're doing this cover, right? and they do it like in their style, and they really kind of encapsulate me, I'm like, okay, like if you can do this song in your own way and give it the justice it deserves, then I feel like you earn my vote as like a person seeing a show. So I like covers just because that sheer fact of like, I think especially if it's not a song that like is a top 40 song, unless you like absolutely just smash it out of the park. Like if you're doing a song that you're just like, yeah, I grew up like listening to this song as a kid and I've always wanted to do a cover of it, and I just feel like it really works with our style and what we're doing. Like I think that's great.
It's pretty sick. But yeah, it's like it's a weird like fine line to walk, like when you're starting out, if you're already established and you do a cover, like no one's gonna be like, oh, it's a cover
Oh
band.
man, you're selling out. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But if you're like starting out, I think the perception is different. It's like, oh, they use this other song that everyone knows to like get fans or whatever it is. So I would love to finish it. I'd finish it tomorrow if we could. But it's
We're gonna finish it at some point.
You
We
guys
should-
can veto.
sure.
You guys can veto Jake. Listen. Here's the phone number
Yeah,
on the
it's
screen right
3-1.
now. Make sure to call Jacob. Let him know your thoughts. He's like,
Put his Instagram handle on there and just
here's
have
his
people
Instagram
bombard his
handle
DMs.
right
Yeah.
here. Go at him on all the social media. Say, man, I really wish that cover was going to be coming out.
I really wish it existed. Yeah.
I really wish it
think-
existed. If only it was
Less
right
of a-
here.
Yeah, it's. I think we're definitely gonna finish it. I think it's just more of a conversation of what we do with once we finish it, because
Yeah.
it could just be finished and sit in a folder forever.
Like
Which-
the Used plays like a small chunk of Smells Like Teen Spirit live. Like I dig that, it's super fun.
Yeah, but they're the used.
Yeah, they're the Used, which we haven't mentioned. We all are huge fans of the Used. Like they were
Great
super
band.
influential, I think, to all of us.
For
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
And,
Emo
kinda still
classic.
are.
Emo classic. Gotta love it. Yeah, I can also agree. I grew up on a lot of the Used, and I probably wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for that band. So
Yeah.
big salutes. Great band.
Likewise.
Big salutes. But
There's so many bands like that it's so hard to like
Yeah.
name them all, because like it's
you
just
get lost in the sauce.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because we could say the same thing about like AFI and Newfound Glory and like all those bands, but yeah.
I feel
There's
like
too
it's
many to
almost
name.
understood. Like if you're in the genre,
Yeah.
like you're just like, okay, yeah, we
If
know
you're an
you.
emo kid, then
Yeah.
yeah.
we
Pretty
already
much
know.
everybody on the When We Were Young festival, the first one and the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of them.
Yes, that's just yes, yes. You just put a
Amberlin.
giant circle around it. Just yes, all of them. Yeah. But awesome. Well, guys, listen. If you don't want to bully Jake into picking that Tears for Fears song, I'll give you
No,
another option,
bullying-
which is
bully him.
Bully him. Well, okay, it's a 50-50 split. If you'd like to bully him, then you can absolutely do that. I can't be the be all end all on this. All the band agrees that you can bully Jake, so do it up. But also, if you have any suggestions for Protect Your Heart, drop them in the comments, and then maybe you can bully all of them into doing that song. So,
Yeah, that'd be sick.
internet.
That reminds me, I don't know if you watched the Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer podcast.
Oh, I do.
but-
Yeah.
yeah. So they're always like, body shaming is the only thing that works. People only get skinny when they're shamed into it. Because they're always bullying Bert about how he's fat.
That is true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, guys,
So we're
listen.
gonna try and do that with this cover.
Listen, you get to bully. They gave you full permission to bully them, so make sure to bully them for a sick cover. I don't want any like dumb shit. I want to see only the finest of quality of shit. So make sure to drop it down below. But the next
The first
question
comment's gonna be the Wiggles after that.
is just gonna get the most thumbs up. It's
No,
just
dude,
gonna.
Peaches.
Oh my god, great, love it. Yeah, just
Peaches?
the most
Yeah.
meme song. Just put it down below. Rick roll. Okay, great. Never gonna give you up. Let's do it.
I'm in.
The,
That would be fun.
The next question I have for you guys is another fun one. What is your favorite food to eat?
Ooh, okay, salmon sushi for sure. When I was like 10 years old, I'm still going to the same restaurant when I'm in town here.
Respect.
It's called Japanese Kitchen, and the head chef, his name's Koji, and he's been calling me Salmon Boy since I was 10 or like 7 or 8. So when I walk in, he still calls me Salmon Boy. It's awesome.
I love it. That's great.
I just go there and I order all the salmon I can eat in one sitting, and I'm
Sushi is so exotic for you.
yeah.
This boy hates condiments.
Well, good.
All
thing
right,
sushi's
now okay. This is now we have to divulge into this. Wait, okay.
Oh no. Okay.
Yeah, I need to know. I need to
I
know.
could probably diagnose my hatred for ketchup like as a disorder. Like how much.
Dude,
Is it just
ordered
ketchup?
food the other night. We ordered food the other night after the show.
Oh God.
Well, mine was 3 a.m. and I'm already like super tired. It's like when show days are like 12-hour long days.
Oh,
like, you get
yeah.
there-
I'm
So
familiar.
I asked him, I was like, hey, these buffalo fries look good. Do you want some? He's like, yeah, as long as the ranch is on the side. And so that's what he ordered. The food shows up. He pours out the whole bag of ketchup onto my counter. And then he opens the thing up and he goes, they did exactly what I told him not to. And I was like, do you need the switch? He's like, yes, I'm not eating that. Because it had ranch on it.
I got chicken fingers. It worked out well for me. But I mean, fortunately, Kian loves ranch and he loves those buffalo fries, so it worked out well for us both.
Yeah, he doesn't like ketchup. He doesn't like ranch. His mayo's out, obviously. Yeah,
Relish is out. I love barbecue sauce. I love hot sauce. I love sriracha and soy sauce.
You know what's in barbecue sauce, right?
yeah, we had this conversation.
I don't know if it's the way that it just ketchup smells like ass, dude. It's terrible. I hate it.
He also is the only person I've ever heard order extra lettuce at In-N-Out.
Yeah, I love lettuce.
Imagine Maddie actually just doesn't like Heinz ketchup. He if you gave him like some
Hunt's.
real shitty off-brand, not even Hunt's, like even more off-brand. He's like, wait, this is actually good.
This is a delicacy.
Yeah, that's the one he's gonna like. European ketchup.
I will frisbee my food so fast.
The extra lettuce shit never gets old.
Oh yeah, I order my cheeseburgers with extra lettuce. I don't know.
I
what
just
the
want to.
issue
I
is.
just want to show up and be with that In-N-Out person. Is just like, did you ask for extra lettuce? What
What?
the hell is
Yeah.
wrong?
I'm still trying to figure out how he discovered that's what he liked.
Yeah.
Like-
Did you just roll up and you're just like, man, you know what? I wish I had more lettuce.
Yeah.
You know what? I need
Exactly.
more water all over my meat.
I might just start taking like a head of iceberg with me to the drive-thru in case they don't deliver on that.
He just like fresh
Oh,
cuts it like in his car. He's just like shing, 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 just like cutting off like strips of like lettuce.
Well, like if you take all the condiments off, it gets dry. So like,
Well,
extra,
I mean, yeah,
yeah,
because there's no condiments.
extra lettuce helps offset that.
Yeah, you know, also would help
Matt-
offset that a condom.
Yeah,
Oh my
Matt, I
God.
think you're right. I think this is diagnosable.
This is definitely
Do
diagnosable.
it. I think it's great. It's one of my best qualities.
Okay, well, guys, if you don't like ketchup, let me know in the comments. I need to know so I can ban you from the. I'm just
Yeah, we-
kidding.
And the anti-ketchup club.
No, I'm just kidding on that.
Oh
I
my
feel like
God.
your first piece of merch should be like it should be some
No
sort of
ketchup.
comment that meant no ketchup.
If it says ketchup on it, I'm burning the shirt. I'm
Well,
just kidding.
no one said you had to wear it. You're like, oh my God,
Put
this
it
is
on inside out.
this is-
and
you're like,
that's
man,
how most people wear our merch anyway.
My head hurts from laughing that hard.
you're like the anti-condiment ban. And then everyone
Yeah,
else is just like, wait, we actually like condiments. It's just
Cancel condiments. That's
yeah,
Matt
cancel
Shirt.
cuts.
I really wish that I liked ketchup. That would make my life so much easier.
It would, you could just try it.
Well, that's one way to do it to lead me to like unhappiness, but
Wow,
Last
that's
time you
okay.
had it because
Yeah.
like, your palate
Your palate
and
changes.
evolves.
well, Kian
This is
says,
turned into therapy now.
Kian says I have the palate of a 4-year-old, and that's the last time I tested it, and so clearly nothing's changed. So it's no reason to test again.
It's
So
true.
Yeah. So
if you see Maddie, just make sure to
we
give
have to
him.
preface that by saying like Ant and I, whenever we're working at his house, like we cook all the time and we don't suck at cooking. And so anytime Matt comes over and we're making something, we're like, hey, do you eat this? Like, can I even make this? We made chicken skewers one time with like a Turkish recipe with like tomato paste and yogurt as a marinade, not
Oh,
even
lit.
on it, just
That
like
sounds great.
marinated in it, wiped it off, put it on the
Yeah,
grill, right?
hell yeah.
And he sits down, he goes, does this have ketchup in it?
I will say, give me some credit on this one. When you guys made, was it chicken tinga that you put ketchup in, or was it
No,
something?
There's no ketchup in ting.
Yeah, I was gonna say
I'm
that
just
doesn't
pulling
sound
out some
right.
random recipe out of my ass. But what's the one you put ketchup like just a very small amount in the sauce.
Who knows, man?
I helped
Meatloaf?
you make it, and I still ate it.
It was probably burgers. It was probably In-N-Out
burgers.
sauce.
It wasn't burgers. It was some chicken recipe.
Well, maybe it was the skewers.
The Turkish kebabs, yeah.
Okay. Well, I still ate the whatever had
Well, that's
small
got tomato paste.
and they live walking distance to Chipotle, so when all fails, I'm saved. Everything's okay.
I'll save for
Everything's
20
with
minutes.
Chipotle. Yeah, everything's okay for Chipotle.
I'll do.
At risk.
Do you not put like sauce on your Chipotle too? Do you ask for extra lettuce when you go to Chipotle?
Lettuce, yeah.
I love extra lettuce. Extra cheese, extra lettuce.
I just
all
wanted
the
to make
extra
sure,
salt.
like, you're consistent, with the
Yeah.
extra lettuce.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Checks. All right, cool. I just wanted
I
to.
put extra lettuce in my salad too.
Yeah, dude. Diagnosable disorder for sure.
I'm not even gonna lie, Maddie, you are the first person that has said, like, man, ketchup, that's not it. That's not it. That's the first person I've heard. Like, you're just like going through the condiment list, you're like, nope.
Nope.
You're like,
totally
oh,
skip
soy
all
sauce,
the
I like
things.
that, Then you're like,
Oh, man.
not this. Relish, definitely no. Ketchup,
Relish is so good.
nope. Yeah. That's
Well, Ant has a tattoo of a hot dog, so I mean, he's pretty much open to all condiments.
respect. I'm the same way.
And also any hot dog.
And also any hot dog, yeah.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah. Anyway,
Also,
guys.
I had a part to play in convincing him to get that tattoo.
With respect.
And it's also right here.
Oh yeah,
It's not, like,
baby.
hidden.
Yeah, it's definitely not. It's just like, yo, what's good,
Also, it's the hot dog emoji, and it's fantastically done.
I
A
love
plus
That's really
that.
well done.
I love that. All right, well, okay, so Manny said salmon sushi. So what else is?
I think
what everybody
everyone
said?
can answer mine for me. I actually ordered it last night.
Wingstop?
Oh yeah.
It's your favorite. Wow.
Ah,
Just wings, dude. They're the perfect food.
respect.
Hard
respect.
stop.
Hard stop.
Yeah.
For me, it's a tough one. It's a toss up between Mediterranean Mexican food or Italian food. Probably, I eat the most Mexican or Mediterranean food.
Ooh, nice. Yeah, that sounds good. Not both of them.
I
mixed
love
together.
making Mexican and Mediterranean food. Mexican food's kind of crazy though. It's like, I was talking to my niece and explaining like that it's something that takes so much time to make.
Oh yeah.
And zero time to eat.
Zero time
and
to
it's
eat.
crazy. Everybody's like, "Oh, let's just get some let's get some street tacos real quick." It's like, yeah, well, somebody worked for an entire day
Before.
making that thing that you ate in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Respect.
Now you have to share. What's your favorite food?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right. Well, so I'll go with the fast food choice first because you guys kind of talked about
Oh,
that.
we'll do fast food. Then we should add it 2 separate categories.
Okay, so
Overall
fast
and then
food.
fast food.
I think my favorite is Taco Bell. I don't care if I feel like shit
Taco Bell,
afterwards,
fucking
and I also am taking a shit afterwards. But Taco Bell, on
Just
point.
eat it while you take the shit. and
Yeah.
it's-
Yeah.
Honestly,
Like
I'm just
super-
eating it on the toilet. It's just a faster process. So getting through that
Efficiency.
efficiency. So,
Otherwise
like,
known as dining in at Taco Bell.
yeah,
Taco Bell.
that's the drive-through.
I
That's
love
the drive-through.
Taco Bell.
It's
Yeah.
so good.
But it's so good. I love Taco Bell. So big shouts, Taco Bell, if you want to sponsor us.
We're never going
Don't-
to get that sponsor now because I just made that joke.
That's okay. I also made the
Right.
same joke, but it's all right. So they know they love us, so it's okay.
With the
Just
power
don't give
of
Maddie any
editing,
condiments. All right, guys. No condiments.
Power of
Zero
post. They'll
condiments.
never
Yeah.
get
They don't have any ketchup at Taco Bell, so it's like safe. That's like
Okay,
heaven.
good. Thank God. Well, salsa is made with tomatoes as well. Just wanted to confirm that. with you.
I love pizza sauce. I love pico de gallo. I love tomatoes. I love bruschetta. I love all of that. I love barbecue. I just take ketchup. There's like a smell to it and a taste to it that's just beautiful.
You know
All
that
right.
ketchup was developed because of spoiled meat, and they wanted to make it taste palatable.
I'd rather have the spoiled meat straight.
milk steak boiled over hard.
The side of your finest jelly beans.
You're like, I would just love to have the rotted meat first and no extra sauce on top to make it at least edible. Oh my God. And then actual like normal food. I guess I'm kind of similar to both Ant and Keenan, where I cook as well in my free time. So I do a lot of cooking. But if I don't want to cook, I guess. I'm trying to think, what would be my favorite style of meal that I like to eat? I can usually go for a good, like, I like sushi. I'm probably in the same boat as Maddie. Sushi is like my go-to. Other than that, I'd also say like Mexican, a burrito is like always on point, So I feel like those two things are like my go-to. But I
If you
haven't
ever
had, I
find
have
yourself in LA, we will go and get all you can eat sushi somewhere
Woo!
and just
Love it.
see if we if
And
we
then we'll
can.
make all you can eat tacos. I just need
Hey,
at least a 48-hour heads up so that we can start cooking.
all right, let's go.
And
Let's
a
go.
spit and
Love it. I love it. Let's go. And then I'll also throw in an honorable mention. I have to for like the native culture, but a cheesesteak, since I'm close to Philly.
Yo, I
Cheesesteak.
love a good cheesesteak.
Me too. I almost ordered one after our show, and then I decided it was too much bread for 2 a.m.
And I used to actually, one of my favorite places to get them was Katz's Deli in New
Nice
York
in
City.
New York, yeah.
Oh my God. I used to go over there all the time and get them. And I would always have them put French fries on it.
Oof,
Man.
So Fat
Which
Sal.
is totally not like
a Fat
traditional
Sal's,
Philly.
yeah.
We had it. There was a place, maybe a block from Katz's that got bread from Philly. They did it with whiz, like super
wow.
legit. But yeah, I always get it for Katz's. Man, I
Wait,
could
so
taste it.
can you take a stance on provolone or whiz?
So I feel like people do like Wiz. I am not one of the people that likes Wiz on their.
Because you're a refined gentleman.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think it has its place. Like, I think if you're just like completely inebriated and you're just like,
Yeah,
man, I
in
just want to
nachos
fucking
at the
yeah.
Steelers stadium or something.
Yeah, just fucking like put that shit on everything. It's just like food.
Yeah.
It's food lube, So just put that shit on there. It's great. But I feel like if you're just like, man, I would love a good cheesesteak, I think you gotta go with some Prove. That's the that's flavor.
That's the fancy stuff.
That's the fancy shit. So I gotta say that. So I don't know. Yeah, cheesesteak, man, they're great. I had one a couple weeks ago when I was at TLA in Philly. Oh, great. Love it. Shout outs. They're great. But yeah, let us know if you hate ketchup in the comments. We'd love to know. I just need to know if there's anybody else out there. I just need to know if there's anyone else there.
Ketchup's awesome, and then just Matt.
It would be great. I was gonna say, Matt just creates a bunch of profiles, and you're just like, oh my god, I agree with Matt too. I don't like ketchup either, and then it's just like trace it back, and it's just like Matt fan number 1, Matt fan number 2.
That's their only comment.
He gets his wife in on or his
Yeah.
wife or like girlfriend in on it, and just like, can you comment this on Brandon's video, please? Just say like, you also hate ketchup. I know you love it, but can you just say that you
Just
don't?
one time.
Just this one time.
Grandma, I need you to make a YouTube account.
Hey, homie, you owe me $10. All right, you don't have to pay me back. Just create a YouTube account and post this comment.
On this guy's video that you don't know.
That is cleared.
Love it. Debt gone just for that. But yeah, let us know down below. No ketchup. Are you ketchup gang or no ketchup gang? We need to know down below. But the next
pressing matters.
pressing matters.
We might need 3 different tour buses, not 2.
You know what would be the ultimate play is if like Heinz watched this and they're just like, oh my god, you know what? This band needs to be sponsored by our ketchup brand, and just starts sending you ketchup.
No, just the
bottles.
singer.
Just the
What
singer.
if Matt? What if they formulated your own ketchup formula just to get you on board?
Then I'd have to have him.
I
Like,
feel
give
like
to
it
me
would
in a
be.
holster,
I feel like it would be like this. It'd be like,
and I need like carrot with me, and I would own that shit.
I feel like
your
this
Heinz.
would.
But
be
it would taste a whole lot like sriracha or like soy sauce or like something that's not Heinz ketchup. Just insert some other condiment into their bottle, and I'm like, oh, cool.
But not mayo, not ranch, not.
I have a
He has
very
to make it like a
extensive
list,
of
yeah.
possible options. You can choose.
Matt
soy
just
sauce.
comes up. He's just like, "Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Matt from Protect Your Heart here. I have this sick new condiment for you." And it's like, it's ketchup. And then just like looks at the bottle, and you can tell it's just like fucking soy sauce in the ketchup bottle.
I
And it's
put
just like
ketchup on
Dude, that's
I
a
put
great music
he's like
video.
I put and then it just like dubbed out instead of he just keeps using the word soy sauce and you can clearly see it was like poorly edited and you can hear him say like soy sauce but then it's just like ketchup and it's just like I put this ketchup on everything. It's great. Oh, this would be great.
Dude,
Heinz,
this is a good music video
Salute.
concept. Just Matt versus ketchup.
Matt versus there we go. Respect. I'd be about it.
I will train my ass off for that. See,
Okay.
if you don't need to be fat shamed to get skinny. If I have to train to fight ketchup, I will get skinny.
There we go. Found it.
There
I
we
will
go.
be
I
like
want to see
straight
Matt
up.
fight a ketchup bottle.
Yeah.
I'll be
A life-size ketchup bottle.
I feel like the ketchup
Or we do the would you rather fight one elephant-sized duck or 100 duck-sized elephants? You know,
it'd just be like, would you like
it's
to
one
fight?
one life-size ketchup bottle or 100 regular-sized ketchup bottles?
I'll go for the one life size
Oh damn! All right, he wants to take it
Bold
head on.
choice.
Respect.
because I want that one to feel so much pain. Like if the little ones, I have to disperse the pain amongst all 100 of them, but this one gets to feel all the pain by himself. So I want him to hurt.
Are there therapists that specialize in these things?
I used to work as a therapist, so I can just provide myself
Matt's
therapy,
like
which I'm
Matt's like
definitely
sitting there in the
doing.
therapist chair. He's just like, all right. So the guy's like, all right, Matt, what's going on here? And he's just like, he's like, all right. He's like, have you ever seen Attack on Titan before? You know those giant titans? It's just instead of the giant titan, it's just a fucking giant bottle of Heinz ketchup. Have you ever felt like that way? It's like a paralysis
Like
demon, you know?
Drive from that, and then it's have you heard of like MDMA or psilocybin assisted therapy? So that you can address past traumas or PTSD.
They're like, have
That
you
would
ever?
be
Did you
what I
like-
would need to confront my ketchup.
Yeah, sleep paralysis, but the
Confront
demon
my
finds
ketchup. Brand new sentence. I need to confront my ketchup.
You need to confront my
Oh shit!
We all have
guys.
our inner ketchup. What is your mountain to climb?
Yeah. Everybody
it's
has
like
a ketchup
Tony
bottle.
Robbins
What
speech.
is your ketchup bottle?
Yeah, Tony Robbins in the chat.
This is great. I love it, guys. I'm glad we can air out all the grievances here. And, you know,
Yeah.
it's like I feel
It's
like
very
I'm in a,
productive.
I feel like I'm in a real live therapy session right now. But guys, I don't even know how to segue from this, so I'm just gonna cut to the next question, which is not related to ketchup whatsoever. So
There's your
you're
segue.
you're okay to answer. All right, Matt. Just want to make sure. But if you guys were to have a dream collaboration in terms of a guest feature, who would you like to have on an up and coming Protect Your Heart song?
Bert.
Ooh, all right, Bert.
Oh, that's a good answer.
I like that.
is a good
I like that.
It would work. It would just work. It'd be
Yeah,
easy.
it would.
I've always wanted to do something with like Tim Armstrong, but I don't think he really suits what we sound like.
Yeah, but he writes a lot of stuff. And
Yeah, but it's his voice. His voice is so sick. I just
it is a great voice.
And he likes ketchup. No, I'm sorry.
All right, someone else then. I'm just kidding.
Thomas DeLong.
Thomas DeLong.
Anyone
Rob Swire would be sick.
would work for Kian. What's that?
I'd love to write a song with Rob Swire.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh, okay. If it's a vocalist, I hear Bert, Jeremy McKinnon, Ollie Sykes. Like those are all like staples.
Ongo Goblogian.
Yes. As someone from near Philly is hopefully catching our Always Sunny references.
Hey, yeah,
But
I got
as
you.
As like a musician, I probably David Gilmour's guitar solos. I would want him in one of our bridges. That would be fucking incredible. His guitar tone is unreal, and his like, if you listen to the guitar solo in the song "Time" from Pink Floyd, that is like the most magical guitar work I've ever heard in my life. It's my favorite solo of all time. So I would love to have him on a song. It might not fit what we're doing, but I wouldn't even care.
David,
We'd make it
Gilmour.
work.
Way out in left field.
Yep. That's what I do.
I'd be about it. Guys. Well, listen. This is the time. Now is the time on the crucial interviews where you take your phone out and you go on Twitter.com and you make sure that you make sure to go at Protect Your Heart and then also at the used Blink-182. Bring Me the Horizon. You know, it's just gonna be a mega collab. You know, Pink Floyd. You know, they're all gonna come. Pink Floyd's
Yeah,
gonna come out of
everyone. Yeah,
retirement.
let's just do
All of
everyone.
them.
They've all been
Yeah.
separately asking.
Everyone gets one bar.
We're gonna do a song that's bigger than what is it? We Are the World.
Yeah, exactly.
God.
That's it.
When,
That's
when
it.
they had every person in music ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna do something bigger.
Okay. Respect. So
For
you're
the
gonna
scene.
for the
Yeah, yeah, but for the scene kids.
It's when we were young, the song. So make sure to get that going, guys. And
Ohio is for lovers part 2.
yeah. Ohio is for lovers. Electric Boogaloo Part 2. Get ready. It's gonna be hot.
Yes.
Fire track, you know. And then they're gonna release a remix version later on with Skrillex. So get ready, you know, for all them, you know, those scene kids.
That
You know,
would actually be a sick collab. I feel like that would be probably the perfect hybrid because of his history
Sure,
and
yeah.
ours.
You know, like also given how our music's created, it lends itself to remixes really easily. So I would actually love to collaborate with anyone who wants to do a remix.
Skrillex, come on, you know, I know you watch the channel, so respect, Sonny. You know, thank you for watching.
Yeah.
You know, I know it was really hard to make it through that Ketchup, you know, that whole Ketchup saga, but I'm glad you're able to, you know, really grind it out and stick
This
it
is
out.
the part of
Dude, the ketchup thing is turning into like lore.
It's meta.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's meta.
meta
So
now.
like when you go on YouTube, this is going to be the most replayed section. So like people are just going to naturally skip to this. And then be
your
like, "Oh, I missed
therapist is
everything."
really just gonna skip to this part and be like, so listen, I heard you were on this interview. I really didn't really give a shit about the band part, but I did hear something about you being attacked by like a ketchup paralysis demon. So wanted to make sure we talked about that in our session today. You know, so.
We're not gonna work on music. We're just gonna.
We're not
talk
gonna work
about
on
this.
music. Just the ketchup
After
paralysis
this
demon.
conversation,
This is arguably more productive.
I'm hiring a therapist after this conversation.
Honestly, I am too. So respect.
Yeah.
But
See you there.
see, we go to the
Maybe
same
we can
therapist.
get a group rate.
I am the therapist. I'm just like, hey, what's going on, guys? And they're like, wait, you just interviewed us. And I was like, yeah, I know. Well, then that makes me the perfect candidate to be your therapist.
Sit
now.
down. Tell me.
Sit
how your
down.
day
Tell me
was.
about your day. You guys like, oh, so we just did an interview with you. It's like, oh yeah, that was my twin brother. Yeah, Randy. Yeah, so go check him out. He's great. And he was like, wait, you're Brandon? Yeah, and then then I turn into the ketchup paralysis demon, and you actually go to your actual therapist. So, yeah. This is very meta. Anyway, I'm going to move on. Guys, listen, if you want to hear the When We Were Young, Ohio is for Lovers, Electric Boogaloo Part 2, make sure to at all of those bands on Twitter and then say collab ? And then, again, I didn't go to law school, but I believe that it is a legally binding contract on the internet. So
That's what I understand as well.
I think that's facts, but it's good to get some corroboration on that. So, listen, if you want to make it happen, it's already in the works, so, all of your love and support and, your manifestation is going towards that sick song. So, I'm just saying it's a reality. Make sure it happens, don't be a loser. Don't get left behind, So, the next question I have for you guys is my personal favorite. As you can tell, I am a huge nerd, so I like to ask this question. If you guys could be a video game character, who would you be?
That's tough.
Wow. The troll answer would be Battletoads, but it's not that.
Honestly, if you had went with that, I would have said respect, Respect. Salute, yeah.
This is tough.
Ooh. I love video games, so this is really
Amen.
I guess I would probably go with like Sonic from the original, like Sega Sonic, way back in the day.
The OGs.
Yeah, just seems like fun to like do nothing but cruise around super fast and collect coins.
Just have this little tails here. Yeah. I have
I was
Sonic keys somewhere.
Man,
I would be Dhalsim from Street Fighter because when I fight the Ketchup Man, the big ass Ketchup monster, I'll have much longer arms to hit him with, so I don't have to get so close to him.
Respect. Okay, listen, I love that answer. Respect. Oh my god, that was great.
I don't even know. I got a Mario up there. Mario's one of my favorite games, but honestly, I think like
He's
Tetris
Princess
thing-
Peach. I've seen him play kart with Princess Peach. It's either that or Toad.
Oh, she and Yoshi are the best at Mario Kart.
But man, that's so tough. This is one of the hardest questions.
Thank you. This one I put all my effort into. The hard hitter ones.
It's a real brain buster.
It really is. There's so many games.
So many. You're right. Also, I'll give a shout out to Keenan's character. Got Sonic here.
I don't know. Can it be a Tetris piece?
All right. Okay. Listen, you said Tetris piece. Which one? Yeah.
The square.
The line.
No, the fucked L.
That's great. I love it.
Tetris is one of my all-time favorite games. Like I could just nonstop play that.
It's the song, man. It's that that Tetris song is so good.
I used to play Tetris.
All the Mario music, like all that original Nintendo music, was just insane. It's just so good.
I feel that.
What's your answer to your favorite question?
So listen, I've gotten asked this multiple times, and to keep the semblance of the same answer, it's always got to be the Pokemon trainer from Gold and Silver Crystal. Listen, I've made this beef with everyone on the internet, and I'm gonna do it again just because you listen. we hold no bars here, So, Pokemon Gold, Silver, Crystal, best Pokemon games. Y'all can fight me in the comments. You're wrong. If you pick the wrong answer, that's on you. But Gen 2 is where it's at. So don't come find me.
Fighting words.
Yeah. I have the receipts, so I know it's the best gen. So don't come at me, So I have to go with that one. Another honorable mention, if it's not that, let me think.
I got a good honorable mention.
What is it?
Earthworm Jim.
Ooh.
Wait, not Cuphead?
Ooh, Cuphead's good too. Yeah, Cuphead's great
that
too.
Fucking game.
Oh man, let me think. I know I have like a second one for sure.
Being Mewtwo seems kind of cool.
Yeah, Mewtwo's kind of jank. I love it though. I probably have to go with Knuckles. That's like one of my favorite Sonic characters. I mean, he's just like how he's portrayed. He's just like the asshole, like
The
tough
emo,
guy.
He's
The emo.
the emo
He is
Sonic.
emo. Yeah, he is emo Sonic. Yeah. Unless you're Shadow, then you're just like Shadow's the emo Sonic. But he's the original. Shadow. Shadow came after. He was the original emo. Just want to make sure that's canon for everyone. Knuckles was the original emo. You heard it here first. We only spit fats here on the channel, just like there's a ketchup paralysis demon standing right behind you right now. So, oh wait, that's only for Matt. Sorry. I like how this is just going to be the bit for. I hope this ends. I hope that you guys get massive.
I hope people start bringing bottles of ketchup to shows.
Yeah,
the best thing would be
you have. If you ever want Maddie's autograph, you have to bring a bottle of ketchup and then you can only sign those.
Or a head of iceberg lettuce, unwrapped, freshly picked.
He's just got to cut it up first.
Yeah.
Oh my god, guys! Yeah, I need to see the receipts. So if you do actually bring a bottle of ketchup to a show and you get Maddie sign it, I need to see a photo of it. So make sure to tag me. That'd be awesome. I need to know if this lore will continue beyond this interview. So, but anyway, the next question I have for you guys, keeping it more sane, would be if you got. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we'll take it there.
We'll make it there. But the next question would be if you guys were to compile a dream tour lineup, including Protect Your Heart, who would be on it?
Definitely Day to Remember. They're always my top listen on Spotify.
What was my silly festival thing? I'm gonna look at that.
The silly festival thing.
Oh yeah.
I agree with whatever Anthony's silly festival list is because it looked pretty solid to me.
Pretty fire.
Yeah.
All right, let's see.
Ant Fest. Yeah. It was Bring Me the Horizon, MGK, Green Day, Protect Your Heart, Angels and Airwaves, The Story So Far, Noisia, Youngblood, Kenny Hoopla, The Used, Turnstile. That's day one.
That's day one. That's day one of
Yeah.
Antfest.
Yeah, 3 days of
That's
3 days.
That's a fucking $1,000 ticket, my dude.
Oh,
yeah, for real.
respect. Yeah.
Day 2 was Blink-182, Rancid, We Were Sharks, Cohen Sound, My Chemical Romance, S.G. Lewis, Skrillex, Deadmau5, Newfound Glory, State Champs, and Pendulum. Damn, that's a
Wow.
good day too.
That's a great
That's a
day.
great day too.
I love it.
And then to cap it off, we've got Goldfinger, Neck Deep, Sum 41, Break, DLR, Chunk, No Captain Chunk, who we
Ooh.
haven't mentioned, but they're freaking awesome.
They're
man.
awesome. Yeah,
Their
great.
Their newest album's just so good.
It's slappers.
4 Years Strong, Disclosure, Day to Remember, Architects, and No Effects. To bring it
Ooh.
home.
Wow.
Amfest is great.
Yeah,
Amfest
it
needs
is.
to happen.
Very good.
Amfest
Somebody
is
needs
list.
to give us like $50 million because this is a really expensive lineup.
That was making fun of me when I got my results back from that little exercise. The main support for day number 1 was this music studio that I listen to when I do my vocal warm-ups, and my vocal warm-up playlist was the main support for the festival. So I'm like, I don't want to listen to piano scales while I and mosh out to that. I mean,
That's
I could,
respects.
but-
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can. I can mosh out to anything, but
You
yeah, that'd be a
respect.
fun
Side stage.
well, if they were main stage, you just got the biggest circle pit to like, and then, yeah, let's get into it.
Just-
They're responsible for the changeover music.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they're the
Yeah,
nerds.
they're responsible for all the crowd killing moments that you would expect at that type of show.
Yeah.
They
all
play
the
off
bands-
the bands that are going long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the Oscars.
It's like the
Yeah.
Oscar. I was gonna say it's like the Oscars. They're like, your set's going too long, and then it's just like dee-dee-dee-dee-dee.
Red light,
Yeah,
red
that
light.
house band set up on the side of the main stage.
This is great. I love it, guys. If you'd like to purchase tickets to Antfest, you can go get the links down below. Pre-sale tickets happening right now.
We're starting a GoFundMe,
GoFundMe.
to make it happen. Please donate.
Please donate. You know,
Donate money, donate the property, donate sound, donate food, drink. We don't want.
Emails.
Yeah, we literally need everything.
all of it.
Yeah.
Every last bit. So, guys, pre-sale down below. Indiegogo down below.
Definitely not
Change.org.
Firefest Part 2.
Definitely not. Totally not.
Definitely not. Yeah.
100% not.
We would never do that.
Yeah.
No, this is Amfest.
This is Antfest.
Antfest Part 1. It'll be the next documentary.
Yeah, Antfest.
Firefest Part 2 Electric
They're like,
Boogaloo.
it all started.
Continuity, baby. Let's go.
They're like, it all started with this interview from this very obscure YouTube channel. Antfest started to form. And I'm like, hey, Mom, I'm famous. Oh my God, thank you. This is great. I love it. But yeah, guys, you can buy Antfest tickets. Totally not Firefest. Get ready to rock. I'm
That's
stoked.
the slogan.
Get ready.
Not
Definitely not Firefest.
Definitely not Firefest.
That's good. I love it. That's what they're gonna. It's like you just print a shirt and just says Antfest on it.
Dude,
It says,
that's pretty good marketing, honestly.
I love
For
it.
any new
Antfest-
festival. Definitely not.
Definitely not
Definitely not
Firefest.
Firefest. We promise Ja Rule is not involved.
Where is Ja?
Where's yeah? You just put him on the shirt somewhere. You don't, and in an undisclosed location, you're like, oh my God, he's underneath my shirt. Oh wow, that's great. Guys, you got it. Marketing ideas from your boy here. But
Yeah, these are free.
these are free.
You can have
Yeah.
these.
The other stuff shows up on my OnlyFans, so very excited. But the next question I have for you guys, since I imagine you have seen a lot of bands live, in your opinion, who puts on the best live performance?
Define best.
Best as in like if you feel like it's stage presence or if you feel like the theatrics of it, like pyro, screens.
Like the first
Ketchup
time I
bottles,
saw Angels
whatever.
and Airwaves when they did We Don't Need to Whisper, that tour, like fresh out of Blink straight on to Angels and
Ooh.
Airwaves, that tour was incredible.
Okay.
But then like we also went to the State Champs Between You and Me show recently, and Between You and Me was just
They're great.
they appeared to be 3 sheets to the wind, which was very entertaining. Also, they on the last song ran out into the crowd with corded mics, and were in the pit, if you will. So that was fun.
That was sick.
I
That's awesome.
don't really see that happen at shows of that scale ever. So it was cool.
I would agree. That's awesome.
The most fun I've had at a concert was probably A Day to Remember. I've seen them like 12, 13 times now, but like every time they've put on an amazing show, and I love every song they've ever done. So of course that's by default the most fun I have at a show. But and their pits get they're just fun.
They get
and their
rowdy.
songs are just fun to jam out to. But I would say like the best performance that I've ever seen, all things included, was probably Roger Waters this last September.
Nice.
He played like a full catalog of Pink Floyd stuff, but it was the visual stuff that went along with it. Like everything in the show told a story, and it was some of the most like meaningful and impactful like concert experience that I've ever had. It was just profound. So like just the whole thing, it sounded perfect. There was like they had this part where like the intro he did Comfortably Numb, but like in a stripped down version. And it was
very
like
cool.
and like several minutes longer, and it was this stage was actually like so the flat stage, and then above it there was this big Tetris piece that kind of sectioned it off into 4 corners. And as the song had a crescendo, the whole stage separated, and then that little puzzle piece rose to the ceiling and became the visual storyboard that all the rest of the songs told their story through. But like the stage separating from as this female singer was hitting these big high powerful notes, it's like a really powerful moment. So like just the theatrics behind his whole performance was like nothing I'd ever seen.
Love it. That sounds sick.
So for punk rock, or pop punk, Green Day on the Pop Disaster tour was still to this day. I went and saw them on whatever the last tour was, as
The
well.
Hella Mega one.
Yeah. They just kill it, man. They sound so good, and the way that Billy Joe like controls the audience is incredible.
Agreed.
So that a weird one, Mindless Self-Indulgence. I don't know if you know who they are. They're weird. They're great. I saw them a lot living in New York. And when I was in high school, I went to a lot of their shows. One of them, they did 3 days in a row at Irving Plaza, and My Chemical Romance opened for one of those nights. That was really cool.
Wow. That's awesome.
But then as far as like full-on live show production, everything, 9 Inch Nails Lights Over North America tour, which was I think probably 2008 or 9-ish, maybe 2007. I don't remember. But that was just next level, really, really cool, like interactive production. They were really big into letting their fans bring cameras in, and their fans are all really crazy. And somebody collected all the footage, and they put together a Blu-ray and a regular DVD that you can buy, so you can rewatch the whole show. All done by fans.
That's
really,
wild.
Really
Can I add one? The first concert I ever went to was Weird Al, and he did all the costume changes and everything. So that was pretty high production value.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I would love to see him. I think he's like insane.
Yeah,
I have to watch the movie.
He had the I'm fat suit and like the whole night, like did costume changes through the whole thing from the videos and all that stuff.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was wild.
That's so cool. But yeah, you guys had some really good picks. I've seen A Day to Remember a handful of times as well. The last time I saw them was Self-Help Fest in Philly, and that was fantastic. And I don't know if they're going to put on another festival thing like that again, but they should, because I think it was really sick. So shout out to A Day to Remember, and just protect your heart on there. I'm just saying, Jeremy, I know you watch my videos, so big respect.
Yeah, Jeremy, it's not that hard. Yeah,
it's not that hard. Yeah, just hit them up in the DMs. They're free, just as long as there's no ketchup there. Just no.
Yeah, on the entire festival grounds.
I'll perform remotly.
He just has there's just a laptop set up with like a microphone link.
Yeah.
they're like, "Are you doing in your like in that room in your house?" And you're like, "Yep." Also, shout out to my cat for getting up on my lap here when
What's up, kitty?
Saw the cat when we first started in the background, and then I hadn't seen it since. Hey, oh,
Oh my God, he looks like Walt.
you are
yeah.
you are a maniac. But the next question I have for you guys is favorite TV show, favorite movie.
Always Sunny for sure. My favorite
Ooh,
TV show.
respect. You know, I appreciate the pandering. You know, to Philadelphia.
It really is. That's really both of their favorite show.
Yeah, we
literally,
annoy everyone else with it.
we talk about it every day, and we've seen every episode like 8 times.
At
And
least.
it
Love
never
it.
gets old.
I love it.
least.
Favorite movie? I don't know. Good Will Hunting's got to be up there for me. Love Robin Williams. What else? I'll go with that for now.
I think if I'm not a big movie person, but if I had to pick a movie, it's pretty obscure, but I think everyone here may know it. The Pest. You all remember that one?
Ooh, okay, yeah.
With John Leguizamo.
Oh
I
my
have
god.
it on VHS.
I knew you knew it, but the other two, not sure about.
Love that movie.
That movie
It's a
is
good one.
ridiculous and hilarious and horrible all at once. Like you could not make that movie today.
It's a
by
B-rate,
any-
yeah.
No.
B movie.
No, that shit would get you canceled real fast.
Big facts.
Dang. I'm really bad at like the favorite question because I feel like there's a good collection of things that I really like. So
Sure, yeah.
Man, Happy Gilmore's one of them.
Oh,
for
I love
sure.
that. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Get in the hole. You go back to your home.
You will go to sleep, or I will put you to sleep.
Chubb in his wooden hand.
Sick Chubbs.
Chubbs.
One movie that I found myself constantly rewatching was Wolf of Wall Street, like the newer one.
So good.
Ooh.
So good.
I do that with Inception a lot too. I rewatch that a lot.
I keep putting Casino on, but then like I'm not able to finish watching it. I freaking love that movie. I like a lot of weird movies.
Ant's kind of a dichotomy in many ways, where he likes highfalutin stuff, and he also likes the trashiest of trash.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, I'm the
yeah.
same way.
You always have to have a healthy amount
Wild
of
Zero.
There's the highbrow stuff, and then there's like Ant and I have watched every episode of Rock of Love together, so you know it's like
Oh, trash TV, man.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
great. Yeah. Love it. That's very good. I'm all about that, you know. I feel like I was saying this in like a previous interview I did. I was just like, I always ask this question because there's some stuff obviously I haven't watched or seen, and it's always good to kind of get a refresher on like what people are watching and stuff, because surely I don't have enough time to watch it, but if there's something good that people recommend and it's like a trend, I'm like, I probably should check it out. So I'll have to check out. I've seen most of the recommendations you guys have, but there's some that I have to go check out. But
Have you
Do you
seen
any
Clerks?
for us?
any I have for you guys, honestly, I sound like a YouTuber, but I actually usually when I go to bed, I'm just watching like YouTube videos. Usually it's just like some like dumb like like YouTuber that just talks about like I watch a lot of Drew
Stonks.
Gooden. Yeah, Stonks, yeah. I watch a lot of like comedy YouTubers, so I watch like Cody Ko and like all these really dumb like people that just make fun
dude,
of
your
shit on the
your
internet.
mom's house is like the
Your
best
mom's house is
podcast
great. Yeah,
too.
that's
Yeah.
that's also great. I love watching their stuff. My one roommate, shouts to Chad, he watches that all the time, and we talk about that on a daily.
Dude,
so
it's fantastic.
it's so dumb. It's so dumb,
is-
but it's great.
It's a good reminder of what exists in the world, because like
Oh
you can-
yeah,
you
they
can-
like
you
find
can
like
think-
the worst bottom of the barrel shit you can find on the internet, and
For
you're just
sure.
like, man, I didn't know that's here, but apparently it is.
man, that exists. Someone
That
did
exists. Yeah.
Yeah.
It like reminds me of like the Vine days where like, you know, you got some like real shit that people posted and you're like, man, this would just not fly right now. So
that.
it's great. But shout outs. Next question I have for you guys. If you were trapped on a desert island for the next month and there was one album you could bring with you to listen to, what album would it be?
Between you and me, Armageddon.
Oh,
I have a problem,
Hey.
man. Maybe that's my diagnosable disorder.
Now we have to just get to Ants. Ants is next.
Maddie, you should answer. I don't even know. That's such. Oh
we
my
want to
gosh.
know your diagnosable disorder.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's plenty.
Yeah.
The weird one. The weird one.
Washing my
weird.
hands. Kean says every time I wash my hands, this was before COVID too, that it looks like I'm getting ready for surgery.
Scrubbing in for surgery, dude. He goes all the way up to his shoulder.
I don't go that far.
It's insane.
His ass in the sink.
It's insane, dude. He's like
That's how
one
he
of
gets
those guys
prepared
that,
for the
like,
tracks,
pulls
you know?
his pants all the way down to pee in the urinal, but like when he washes his hands, he's like taking his shirt off and shit.
Oh, that's great.
I'm like George Costanza. I'm a stall man.
Hey, smart man. Smart man.
Oh my god.
Can you tell we've known each other for a really long time?
This is great. I'm glad you guys are bringing out all the shit, you know, or bringing out all the hits today. It's great.
Yeah.
Next,
I told you.
next-
I told you at the beginning. Everyone's a psychopath. And
next
now we're
interview,
getting
you're
into it a
gonna
little bit.
diagnose me. I'm looking forward to it. You know.
Album on a desert island, though. Fuck. Well, it's only 30 days, so.
That's what I
Yeah,
said.
like-
yeah, only 30
Well,
days.
just bring your top 13. You know.
Yeah, bring your top 13.
I would like to bring, Protect Your Heart reintroduction.
Out now
Available
on all
now,
digital streaming
everywhere.
platforms.
Link below. The link is below. In the comments everywhere.
Leave a comment to let us know how bad it is.
Yeah, you just do so an
How many
infomercial. It's
bottles
like
of
act
ketchup do you
now.
give it?
Yeah, it's 5
Dude,
ketchup
that's a good.
bottles out of
That's,
5
that's a
ketchup
good
bottles.
merch idea. Every album comes with a bottle of ketchup.
Hand packed by Maddie.
Hand numbered by
labeled.
hand numbered by Maddie.
QC'd by Maddie.
It comes
Yeah,
with
you gotta open
it comes
it,
with a USB file of.
test You got to open it, test it, and then reseal it.
He's like test.
He's
He's literally got his phone. He's got his like phone out. He's like test number 1.
He's the
All
trash
right,
man.
thank you, Brandon, for purchasing this bottle of delicious sauce.
Yeah.
I'm gonna test it out for you right now. And he like takes the cap off of it and he like squeezes a little bit and then he's just like just starts throwing up.
Dude,
It's like all right, it tastes like
a
shit.
Crystal
Just as
Pepsi
like
gift.
Yeah.
2023.
Every purchase comes with a personalized roast of you. Why the hell did you order this shit? That's it.
The
Wait,
more
you're
you
onto
donate,
something.
the more creative Maddie gets.
Yeah, it's the roastagram.
Yeah, it's
Dude, that's like the Good Hangs
Oh yeah,
post on Instagram. Hilarious.
love those.
So good.
Oh my god, great, love it. Did anyone not answer this question?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I'm pretty sure both of them.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, you thought you could get away, huh?
Like by default, I have to choose something with like at least 13, 14 songs on it.
Wow.
If it's
By
like an
default.
EP, I'm gonna get sick of that shit so fast.
Fair enough. Yeah. Good thing there's a top 13, album that is floating
There
around
is
there.
one of those out there in
Yeah,
circulation.
Yeah. I don't know what it's called. You have to check the links below, I think.
Can you introduce me to it?
Yeah, I think if you check the links in the description, you'll be able to find out where it's at. I don't want to
Maddie,
spoil it
how
for
is yours
anyone.
not like the Tony Hawk Pro Skater
Oh.
soundtrack or something like
Dad.
that?
Yeah, can you do a compilation?
Yeah, you can.
That's a pass.
That's
That's
a
a
good one.
pass. Yeah, that's a pass. We'll give you a pass.
Okay.
Can I hang out on Maddie's island?
No, that is not no pass.
Yeah, I'm down with Tony Hawk Pro Skater. That's a good one.
Okay.
It's got Millencolin. It's got all your it's got all
Yeah.
your stuff. man.
Yeah. Respect.
Yeah, it's got everything on it. Trying to think of what's a double disc?
The Beatles anthology.
No.
The Beatles. They're like,
No.
5,786 songs.
that he recorded in 2 years.
Yeah.
The unreleased John Lennon files.
It's gonna be Goldfinger or Rancid. I'm just gonna guess.
I know. I was gonna say Rancid.
Keaton's got it on lock. I appreciate that.
Yeah, probably. I don't know which one. Life Won't Wait's really good.
Out Come the Wolves.
That's probably it. That's the album that I was saying earlier. That I said the other day. I've been listening to that regularly since it came out. Since I was a little kid,
Oh, that's great.
It doesn't get old. It never has. It's always been great to me. My wife and I once we were married, came down the aisle to Rancid. We both really love Rancid.
I was gonna say, dude, I could
That's
amend my answer to Starting Line, Say It Like You Mean It is a perfect album.
That's another one. Yeah,
overlooked.
that's really good. Yeah, there's a handful of records from that era, from 2003.
Boxcar album is perfect.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yo, speaking of Tony Hawk, can we jump on and play online, the four of us?
I mean,
I just
that'd be
set
sick.
up Tony Hawk all over again, and I'm ready to play. I've got my wad of hundreds, ready to plow.
Let's go.
Ready to plow.
We'll have to make a new trick. It'll be called Ketchup. For shout outs to Maddie,
Well, we can edit a character to look like a bottle of ketchup.
Hey, there we go. Respect. Let's do it. That should be your band mascot. Is skating ketchup.
Well, it is now,
Skating
by
ketchup
default.
bottle. Hell yeah, let's go. All right. I love it.
King, get designing.
Don't give me any more work, man. What are you doing?
But love those answers. Those are some great records. Some that I haven't heard in a while. Now I'm gonna have to go back and listen to, especially that Rancid record. I haven't listened to that one in quite a
But
bit.
only
So.
after you listen to Protect Your Heart reintroduction.
Yeah, that one's
out
also
now,
that one's
digital streaming.
platforms everywhere. You can buy it on CD, vinyl, cassette, 8-track,
8-track.
None of this is
Blu-ray.
true. We can't afford to press
floppy
vinyls.
disk, USB drive.
Next album's gonna be mini disc only. Good luck playing it.
The next is just going to be scribed by hand. We're gonna
Yeah, we're
have to
gonna,
imagine
we're
what the
gonna
beat
just
sounds like.
all the
Yeah.
cheap music and be like, here, if you want to listen to it that bad, play it.
Figure it out, dummy.
Yeah.
You're like you should do like a Mr. Beast video. You're like, we wrote our next album in this bottle here, and then we put all of the lyrics and songs into this glass bottle and threw it into the ocean. Click the video, see what happens next, and then
And then nothing at all happens.
Nothing happens.
It's just
a live stream of a bottle floating in the middle of the ocean.
Someone on the beach just picks it up and puts it in the trash, and then there's
Doesn't
Love
even
it.
recycle it.
Doesn't even recycle. Big set. But the last question, guys. I know we're at the end of the line. I know we could just talk for hours and hours on end here, but the therapy session is gonna have to end very soon because I need my payment.
Send your invoice to Matt.
Yeah,
He's already gotten one today that he
Okay.
texted me about. Pretty
great.
upset.
Love. But the next question that I have for you guys is, I know we made a bunch of jokes, and this is the very serious question to kind of roll out the interview, but whenever I have artists on, I love having a good laugh, a good goof. We're all about good goofs here on Audio Addiction. But, what do you want people to take away from, Protect Your Heart? Because I feel like a lot of the times, we do have a good time, or I do have a good time interviewing bands. And I want to make that known that, we just have a good time just shooting the shit. But, what do you want people to know about your band and why you decide to create music? Because you guys have been doing it for a long time, and I feel like with this project, you have put a lot of heart and effort into it, and I hope that obviously people go check out your band. But why do you make music? Because I think a lot of the times we think about like artists and we're just like, man, they make some really cool music, but like I always want to know why people do this, because I think it's so you could be doing anything else with your time, certainly, but you decide to dedicate it to music. So I feel like there's an importance to that.
Why do I sit and painstakingly comp vocals?
And why does our singer not do it?
No,
Damn.
honestly,
Wow.
I think it's a really easy answer. We do it because we love it. I love the way that it makes me feel finishing a song. I say it every time that we're like sitting here going through parts or doing anything, and it's just like, oh my god, oh my god. But as soon as you listen to it and it's done, and you're like, oh, like holy shit, and the energy that I get, that absolutely, I'm like, it makes you forget all the time that you spent that you were like pulling your hair out or like
Sure.
freaking out over something or like stressed or anything like that. But it's flat out. I mean, we love making it. Like if nobody listened or if a billion people listened, we'd still be doing this. We'd still be making records. We'd still be writing the songs that we want to write. Yeah.
There aren't many things in life that give me chills, and music is like one of the few things that in life that does. So it's just impossible. Like I just can't not write music. If I don't have
Sure.
this something to be involved in musically, then I feel like there's a big hole to fill, and the only way to like feel that fulfillment is to have something like this. And I feel like we've done a really good job of creating a real family atmosphere in this whole thing, like not just with each other, but everyone who's come to discover our band. Like we try to include them in the same way that we do our friends and family. So it's not just a bunch of, it's like we really try to get close to everybody who's a part of this journey with us. And I really like that sort of community as well.
Yeah, you're family now.
Hell yeah.
You guys are a part of the Audio Addiction family too, so salutes.
Go.
Keenan, what you got?
I mean, for me, it all just kind of comes back to what we talked about earlier, that we're all psychopaths, and everybody in our band has this at times unhealthy need to be productive at all costs.
Feel that.
And so, we sacrifice a lot of, things to be able to do the things that we really love. And I guess for me, like, protect your heart. If someone was to get anything out of it, it's really that if you spend the hours and you're really committed to seeing something through, there is no reason that you can't achieve whatever it is you're trying to achieve. And like that, that applies to us in music because we're, making music and whatever, but it also applies to like anything really. Like
Yeah.
if you want to be really good at something, you have to put the 10,000 hours in, as the cliche goes. I'm actually inclined to believe it's more than 10,000 hours.
I would agree. Yeah.
But like there's no substitute for just doing it. And there's no substitute for doing it yourself. Like when you get other people involved in your project, right? They're never going to do it as good as you because they
Sure. Yeah.
can't possibly understand the vision. They can't understand what you're going for. They have no skin in the game, right? So if you want something done right, do it yourself and figure out how to do it yourself, and work through the tearing your hair out moments and just do it. But there's nothing that's out there in the world that you can't do if you're really motivated to do it. You don't
Totally
need
agreed.
people. You don't need 7 songwriters on a song. You don't need 800
7 songwriters that aren't in the band.
Correct. Yeah. Like
I would love to collaborate though, because I would love to collaborate with a team at some point. Like I do enjoy songwriting with other people.
But you don't need it. Is my
You don't
point.
need it. No. Like you're proficient before you get that.
Yeah. You like just being self-reliant. And also like to me, I have always felt lucky to be surrounded by the people that I get to be surrounded by in working in this world. Like I mentioned before, I'm from a very small town. I came to California in 2011 to do music. And I spend more time with these guys than literally anyone else. And I would, Anthony's from New York, Matt's from California, Jake's from Northern California, I'm from Indiana. We're from all over the place. We should, in all reality, never have met. But now we spend more time together than with anyone else, really. So, it's kind of crazy to think about that. And had we not pursued these things, we, would have never got, to meet and do these things. So, which is a really cool experience and something really cool to be a part of. And I think, we're all proud of it, but I'm extremely proud of, what it looks like, what it sounds like. And I'm just excited to see what we get to do as we continue on. Yeah.
And I'd also add, like, the best thing about music outside of just the experience of creating is like that no matter how good you get or how many, if you write an incredible song, you're still never as good as you could be. And that like feeds the hunger to be better and to always grow. Like in like normal work or in most things that I do, like it's easy to get bored. You can become complacent. You can, you can reach your ceiling, so to speak, of what your growth potential is. But in music, it's the entire opposite, because no matter if you write one good song, like you still have dozens and hundreds of more potential songs that may not ever be good. So you still have something more to aspire to grow to improve on. If you learn how to use Pro Tools really well and produce well, you still can improve your singing voice or your guitar playing skills. There's always something new to get better at. And so or even just live performances, things like that. So for me, it's like there's never room for complacency, and every song feels like a different way of creating. Because sometimes it starts with a vocal melody, or it starts with a guitar riff, or just a really good tempo, or like there's a million ways to start, a million ways to finish, a million ways to get where you want to go. And I think that leads like me to like just always be excited about creating, because I'm like, oh, here's an opportunity. Like this doesn't feel like any other experience I've had in songwriting. Every song's different, and that makes me excited to show up every day.
Yeah, I mean, I would find a lot of similar parallels to what I do. You know, I've been doing this for 7 years, and I think for me, it's always a year. Like, now that we're getting close to the years being over with, like for me, I always look back and I'm like, what did I do this year? Like how can I improve next year? I'm just like a D tier interviewer. How can I be like a D plus interviewer? So
Hey, maybe even get to that C,
maybe
man.
get to that C, so make sure to leave me a good Yelp review. That helps out a lot. No, I really do feel like a lot of my time, and I imagine similarly to your band, is like always trying to improve. Like I can always be a better interviewer. I can always ask better questions. I can always get more information out of someone, and I think it's always a test of my abilities to see how far I can take it. How much information can I get out of it? Is this a conversation where people go back and they're like, man, I really liked beyond the like Ketchup bit. I really loved this interview, or they're just like, I really just love the Ketchup bit, and I just keep coming back for that. Either way, it's great. No, I mean, honestly, if they come back for the substance of it, I think that's what it comes down to. And I hope that it highlights you guys in the best way that it possibly can, where people come and watch this and they're like, man, this is shit I didn't know about this band. That like, I hope that now, after like listening to you guys talk about about your music and what you do, and why you're so dedicated to it, I hope that it allows people to like find more immersion in what you do, and get more out of it. Because I know for myself, whenever I interview bands and I go back and listen to them, it just gives me a little bit more respect or admiration for what they do, because it's like, this is how much time, this is how much effort, this is how much shit you put into doing what you do. And it kind of fuels me to do what I do, which is like trying to find new bands and trying to like, hopefully get them to a larger audience. And, I think that that's kind of a good thing on the, doing this. And, I hope that everybody goes and checks out Protect Your Heart, because they're awesome, which is the ultimate segue into the final question. Guys, tell them where they can find you at on social media, which you guys have coming up in the next couple months, and obviously where they can go check out the new album that's out now, right now. As we live and breathe right now, it's out.
It exists.
It
It
exists.
is a thing that we made that exists. Social media, PYH_band, I think everywhere. PYH.band is a website where you can find links to literally everything that we have: music videos, singles, the whole album.
Woo.
We made a digital album booklet. So like, remember when you used to buy a CD and like it had a thing and whatever? So we made a digital version of that. That is playing on our website and also on our YouTube channel. Yeah, I think that's it. We have a show coming up this weekend, which will probably happen before this comes out. So
It will.
see you in 2023.
And then we can't announce the thing.
No.
Yeah, right? Okay.
Oh, damn it.
There's a cool thing coming in
What are you,
early
every
2023.
every band post? Are you going to Brazil?
No.
Fuck.
No.
Damn.
We can't afford those plane tickets, my
Man,
dude.
missed out. Oh, okay. I thought someone comment
And then
come to
merch
Brazil.
Merch is coming in 2023.
Woo! I'm gonna cop something.
I don't want to be that like local band that says big things coming.
That's what I was. That's what I meant.
Yeah, that's annoying, but it is like kind of a big thing.
Okay.
That's a cool thing for us where we live is a cool thing.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
and
even
hopefully we can
sad.
announce that soon.
Matt, you and anything?
to add?
Nope, y'all nailed it.
Wow, kudos, Matt, the vocalist. Give it up, baby. All right. Well, I like how I just made Matt feel like extremely awkward. I'm gonna try to get a dumb zoom in on his face as I said that too. Anyway, please go check out Protect Your Heart. One of the best bands to find me, which is on a rare occasion. So, I take those occasions in stride, and your boy had to ask them in the DMs. So, what are you doing now? So it was great. And they answered the call. So now they're here. And they will be forever memed here on the channel. So please go check.
This is gonna be a rough job in post.
Oh, I'm very excited. Post Brandon's like, but please go check out Protect Your Heart. They are awesome. I will be doing a live stream of the entire album, going through all of the songs, and I'm gonna put on my best Simon Cowell face and just be like, "Oh, this shit sucks. I don't know why this band creates music. They fucking blow. Why do you check them out?" See, there you go.
Let us know what's in your top 13.
Nailed it.
So let us know what's in your top 13, guys, down below. And honestly, no, seriously, go check it out. I've gone through about half the songs on the album, and listen, I can tell you with a surety, fucking big band, and I'm so excited to see what they're going to be doing in 2023. So definitely keep your eyes peeled. I have a track record of knowing what bands are going to be doing some good shit. So I just, I don't want to put any, I want to, just So
Thanks for jinxing us, man.
It's not a bad jinx. It's a good jinx. But yes, please go check them out. All clickable links will be in the description. If you enjoyed this very long interview, arguably, I think the second longest interview I've done here on the channel, please go smash that like button, subscribe, share it. It would mean a lot. If you don't want to see our gorgeous faces, which, listen, I'm going to be hella disappointed if you don't want to watch our faces for an entire 2.5 hours, So if you don't want to, big sad, first and foremost. But, there is a bright side. You can listen to this on all streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, anything you listen to streaming wise. Everything you listen to streaming wise, it's going to be there. So make sure to listen to it on your ride home, especially if you live in California, because I hear traffic there is terrible. So go do it. But also go check it.
Go about 4 miles and listen to this entire podcast.
Hey, that's sick. I'm about it. The stonks are going to be up on this interview. But please go check out Protect Your Heart. Seriously, sick band and great people. So please go give them some love, and huge thanks to the guys for coming on.
Thanks for hanging with us, man.
Yeah, thanks for having us. This is so much fun.
Yeah.
Definitely let us know when you come out to LA.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
We'll grab some sushi.
And ketchup. Get it started, guys. Protect Your Heart is the band name. Listen, I've fucked up band names before, so I want to make sure this is like 100% the correct real deal.
Is this going to be transcribed to written, or is this going to be a video?
No, this is video. This is
okay. Cool.
This is like everybody's gonna be watching us right now.
Put your dildo away, Matt.
Yeah.
I have my whole collection right underneath the desk.
Is there anything out? I don't know.
Yeah. Oh man. You're like, man, I gotta put away that really lewd photo, and then you're like, just get up, and you just see like someone falling down.
Yeah.
Falling
Makes you
down
think,
the
was it in the movie I Love You Man, where he's like, I got a freaking jerk off station.
Yeah, right there. Yeah. It's like, excuse me. It's like, oh, excuse me. I have to put my like lotion and. Yeah. I've, luckily enough, have not had that, so I'm very fortunate.
Not yet.
I was hoping to be the
not
first
yet.
with
It might be. The day.
Honestly, I thought for
Yeah.
today that was what was going to be, the special on the menu today, but I guess not. So very.
Well, let us know when it starts recording. We'll stop talking about dildos.
I'm cutting all this out anyway, so
Yeah.
or we could save it,
You'll
it's for the after, keeping it honest, or we'll just do it the after hours, then we'll have like the little like, I'll have to do in post.